Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Law-Splaining the Interwebs. I'm your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. And with me today will be the Mad Black Protestant himself, my man Q. We're going to be discussing some things. It's my fault. I sent him the link like right before the show is going to start. And he just needs a minute to set up. So he will be on in just a second. We will get this party started. In just a few. Let me answer the question you haven't asked but want to, because you ask it every day. I ask it every day, and I get the same answer every single day. No, the transcript is not done yet. Will it be done before the year 2026? Who knows? Stay tuned. No, it is not done. It is not finished. This is loss. Everything about this is loss. It's a terrible, terrible thing. But it's not, I mean, there's no hustling it, man. Can't do anything about it. I mean, you can yell at the court and then they'll just take longer. But yeah, let's take care of some of those sort of Vic questions as we get started here. Apparently, Ron Toye deleted his Twitter. A lot of people are curious about what that means. Let me give you the very short answer. Not much. It doesn't mean much. He is commanded to preserve evidence. We talked about this a long time ago. He's commanded to preserve evidence. That does not mean that he has to preserve the evidence for everyone to see. It does not mean that he has to maintain his Twitter account or face sanctions. And deleting your Twitter account does not necessarily delete the content. I believe Twitter keeps the content. And even if Twitter didn't keep the content, Ron would have to merely have an archive of all of it somewhere. Now, did he do that? I highly doubt it. But maybe Ron archived all of his direct messages. Maybe not. Who knows? He is commanded to preserve that evidence. And if he were to have deleted something critical, they haven't complied with... They haven't complied with all of the discovery yet. So if he were to have deleted something that should be in a discovery request, like say communications through Facebook or through Twitter's direct messaging service, they would have to then go get those from Twitter. Right? Like you could send a request to Twitter for those things. Ron would have to do that. Otherwise, there could be a motion to compel. If he can't produce it, then they're allowed to draw some sort of negative inference. They'd be allowed to subpoena Twitter for the information. I don't know that he thought this through, but my understanding at this point is that Ron could go ahead and reactivate his Twitter account and have access to those messages again. That's my understanding, and as long as that's the case, there isn't much that they need to worry about. Oh, one moment, ladies and gentlemen, we are being joined live by the Mad Black Protestant himself. Let me bring you on screen, buddy. Here we go. Hey, man.
What's going on?
Oh, not much. I'm just recapping some of the stuff that's been going on in the Vic case prior to you coming on, because I'm going to get questions about it. But we're not really going to be talking about that. So I was taking advantage of the early portion of the show. just to kind of get rid of that housekeeping stuff. What are you
Fantastic.
up to?
What?
I said, what are you up to?
Man, just enjoying some entertainment, realizing how jacked up our education system is in the good old US of A. Hoes mad, dude. Hoes mad.
You know, I didn't tell you about this topic, but so I was walking through the local Mogadishu Walmart, and and sorry, that's an inside joke. I was walking through the local Walmart when we were talking on the phone, and I got off the phone with you earlier, and then I swiped left on my screen to pull up the Google News because I don't walk through Walmart.
Wait, is swiping left good on me or swiping right? I don't know. I'm too old for that.
I think it depends on your preference.
I don't think I've ever been swiped left on. All right, so
I don't know which one it is. I don't even know what. Like, I've often talked about. I have no idea how I would use the Tinder thing. Like, I don't get it. I'd probably just connect with a guy named Sven or something by accident. But
sure, by accident.
Right. So
we'll go with that one.
But so I go through the Google News because I don't want to look at anybody in a Walmart. I just want to see what's on my phone. So I'm pushing the cart and I'm looking, and so you know the movie Cats, right?
Oh God!
They did the movie Cats.
Yeah.
And they're all naked because they're all cats or whatever. I mean, sort of. They're all CG'd and painted and whatever. But Jason Derulo is complaining that his penis looks too small. So I didn't tell you that I was going to bring that up in the show, but I think we'll go through that article in a little bit.
Oh wow!
He's like, no, they CG'd it out. That's what happened.
They see, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to ask Jordan Sparks about that. So,
is he married? Is he married to Jordan Sparks?
I don't know if they were married. I know they were together, but like
the American Idol chick.
Yeah, she said that she was going to remain a virgin until they got married or whatever. So she might not know. So
I have so many inappropriate jokes, but I got nothing against Jordan Sparks. So I didn't want to.
I got nothing against Jordan Sparks, but like I got plenty against Jason Derulo. But I mean, you know, he was almost paralyzed. So, you know, I mean,
how is he almost paralyzed?
He did a somersault off of
his prison bunk with a bed sheet tied around his neck.
No. Well, you know, typically that just ends in a suiciding. But no, he I guess he was trying to crowd surf into a crowd and nobody went to go catch him. So he needs to probably start bringing more white people into his crowd,
if he had a more prevalent package, some people might try to catch him and grab it, you know, like something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it was probably just cold in there, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's my excuse. Like, it's cold in here. It's Minnesota. What am I supposed to? I mean, I go to Texas, we're good.
I realized that Epstein didn't kill himself because what actually happened was he executed the flip so poorly that the Russian judge got up and killed him. It's like 3, 2.6, and then the Russian judge just got up and strangled him to death.
Well, yeah. I'm gonna leave that alone because wasn't it? Hey, all right, listen here. I've been getting lip injections for about 6 months now, and y'all still talking about my damn lip. This is half the size it was. We're getting better. So, you know what? I'm not gonna come on here no more if they're gonna be talking shit about my lip. I'm just saying, it's going down. So, and no, I'm not black. I'm Sandy Beige 42. We established that before. Silky beige. Silky beige.
Silky beige.
Silky beige. All
okay.
right.
There you
Hey, I
go.
like it. I like it. Hey, I might have to go back to Sherman-Williams.
Look, you need to change the name of this.
Give
Sandy sounds gritty. Silky sounds smooth.
give me that silky beige, baby. But yeah, so this Cats thing, I've seen it. It looks awful. It looks absolutely awful. I don't see myself spending the money to go see it.
I don't see. No, that's certainly not.
Yeah, especially if they're in there like painting over dudes' junk. Like that's just not. I don't. Yeah.
Well, I guess for him they CG'd it out, just not for anybody else or something.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It's just he's like, nah, fam, they CG'd it. That's what happened.
I mean, so is this okay?
Well,
so I gotta ask, what is the target audience though? Like, is this like an adult film, or am I supposed to be taking my kids there, or what?
I don't know. Cause like the Cats musical is a little weird.
Right.
But it was just weird. I don't know that it was particularly lewd. So I have no idea. I've only heard like a couple of the songs. They all sound mildly pornographic. So who knows? Like Memory, that sounds, ooh, man.
Well, mildly pornographic, like, so won't be long. That'll be like completely done out of.
Well, we gotta ban it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm absolutely 100% in for the banning of all pornographic. And I mean, so let me ask you, so how far does that go though? Because remember back in the day, like they had that God, what was the name of that movie that came out? It was like the first N17 movie. I know you know what I'm talking about. It was
Showgirls.
There you go, Showgirls. It had the girl from Saved by the Bell on there.
Yeah, Elizabeth Berkley.
Dude,
right?
you are way too good at this.
She's a voice actress, so like you know, she became,
Jessie.
She voice acted
Jessica Spano.
What did she voice act? She was in some big anime film.
She's doing anime now?
She did a while ago. Let me look it up.
What's up with
Let me just turn off Safe Search and type in Elizabeth Berkley.
What's up with chicks going? Is that just like a normal transition to go from like softcore porn to anime? Like, no,
normally it's the other way around.
Normally it's okay. All right. I was
wondering. They're not making any money in anime.
Well, hey. So let me back up. Somebody in the chat just insulted me by asking me my opinion on the new Star Wars film. Yeah, no, I've never seen a single episode of Star Wars.
Bless you, sweet prince.
Right. So yeah. So I don't intend to start now. Although my son is watching The Mandalorian.
Yeah. How's that going?
Well, I think that he said that your kid told him to start watching it.
My kid's never seen The Mandalorian.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying. So you might want to get a check on your household, bro. Because like, yeah. They're saying that your kid's being a bad influence on my kid. She
was in a anime called Armitage 3. I'm trying to see if she's in any others.
Armitage 3.
This is old school. Like this is before they had voice actors.
Oh.
It looks like that was the only one that she was in actually. Maybe I just remember my friend seeing it going, it's that chick from Showgirls. And I was like, really?
Yeah, yeah. Like I just remember like, watching the previews for it and being like, whoa, like, are you serious? Like N17. Yeah.
Did you ever see it?
No, I never saw it.
You never saw it? It's decent.
I never saw it. I'm an adult now and I still haven't seen it. It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
No, my parents were like, not even. Yeah, no, absolutely not. Anything PG or over was not acceptable. So
I mean, I didn't see Showgirls until I was an adult, which I did see Wild Things, which I worked at a movie theater when Wild Things came out. That was the one with Nev Campbell and Denise Richards, and they were so they were so wound up about Wild Things, which was just rated R, that they went into the theater and threw out, like at the theater where I worked, that they threw out kids who were under 18 or under 17 or whatever, which you're not really supposed to do if they properly purchase a ticket. So I don't know how they got tickets and then got thrown out, but they did. It was great. They were throwing people out all the time from Wild Things. And they're really not, like, there's not that much nudity in Wild Things. It's only a couple scenes.
Well, I mean, I don't know. You get some of those guys that get a little bit too into their jobs. My wife and I went to see Richard Jewell last weekend.
Who?
Richard Jewell. It's the story about the dude that was essentially the bombing in the park.
His name is Dick Jewell?
It was Richard Jewell.
Dick Jewell.
Right. So he was somewhat of an autist, right? And he was like, a wannabe police officer. That's all he ever wanted to do was to work his way up to one day work for the FBI. Really weird dude. But at the end of the day, we go to see it. And there's this black dude working at the front, checking the tickets. Like, we didn't buy our ticket from the guy, but before we could go back, to our number 5, right?
Yeah.
He wants to check our ticket. Like, he's looking at me and looking at my ticket like, it's ridiculous. Like, this guy is like really, really into this. And so I'm like, why is this guy so intense? And like, he's got like a shirt that's like 3 times too small. Yeah. Got his arms out, clearly, he wants to show off his biceps or whatever.
That's what I wear.
And so my wife got annoyed with me because like I was annoyed with the guy. So I'm like, top flight security, Craig. And clearly he got the reference and was not happy. And so my wife was not all that happy with me either for making fun of the guy, because he had reached the pinnacle of his career working security at the movie theater, but it was at the Mall of America. So.
The pinnacle is working security for Eddie Murphy. I've seen Don't Be a Menace. You're going to finish high school and you're going to go to college. Otherwise, you'll end up working security for Eddie Murphy.
I mean, you could land some worse gigs though, right?
Oh yeah.
You could land some worse gigs.
You could be picking out his tranny prostitutes, right? Like, that's what you could do.
Yeah, that could be rough.
The selection crew,
or the guy that's standing by the door, keeping watch. So that would really suck. Really, really suck. But like, but I hear people say that. But like, wasn't he married to Scary Spice at one time?
Eddie Murphy?
Yeah.
I don't know how many.
Oh, it's been a lot.
He went through not a ton of marriages, but a lot of long-term relationships, I think, because he has like 10 kids.
Yeah, but yeah, he was. I want to say for sure he was married to Scary Spice at one time.
Maybe.
But yeah, that was. Imagine being Jet Li's security. I don't think Jet Li needs security.
That's Imagine being Jet Li, I think, right?
Yeah, imagine. Right.
I am the security.
Yeah, I am the security. Yeah, I don't think Jet Li would need much security to be real. But yeah, so yeah, this dude was like way too into his job, and made me feel a little bit uncomfortable. But yeah, so let's get going, man. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on. Like I'm pretty sure I ruined somebody's day. I'm so sick of these illiterates on Facebook that are like, yeah, Trump is impeached, but it's not actually a good thing because Mike Pence is far worse. I'm like, what does that do with Mike Pence? Like,
get electroshocked, son. Look out, gay boys. Pence is coming for you.
And I'm like, what does Pence have to do with the situation? They're like, well, he's the president now. And I'm like, oh my God.
Pence should just walk into the Senate with batteries. Like, I'm setting up. Big wet cells.
No, the electric fence. I swear to you, that would be like the ultimate troll tool if he walks in to the if his chair in his office was like an electric chair. Would you like to have a seat? Let me fix you.
Yeah. Man, do you remember? I remember always having to go buy those big frickin' batteries. Not like a D battery's cute and all, but these are those big rectangle batteries that you'd have to buy for like huge flashlights back in the 80s.
Yeah.
My parents would take me to the grocery store and we pick those up. I don't see anything using those anymore. It's now just like, well, you just use 38 AAAs. Right. Can't I just get one of those big things and shove it in there? I just imagine Pence walking around with a couple of those in a backpack.
Right. Yeah.
But okay, well, there are a bunch of chats that came in right at the beginning, so I want to do those real quick, and then we'll jump into the let's jump into the topics because I want to talk about this impeachment stuff. I want to talk about this Virginia, the Virginia uprising, which I love, by the way. I absolutely fascinated. Okay, Baracko Gaia.
About that life.
Barocco Gaia, not Baracco. Hey, Nick, a few weeks ago I talked about my weight loss. Now I'm down 101 pounds in 200 days. Hope you have a great Christmas. Have a drink on me. Don't boomer up your decorations too hard. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Don't worry about that. I have so effectively silently protested decorating for Christmas that Lady Rackets just does it without talking to me. Because she knows I'll like procrastinate so long that nothing will get done. RZEQDW says, the way the Virginia law is written, it seems to suggest that all lefty activist training is now considered terrorism. Did Virginia just save us all from the scourge of Antifa? Well, I don't know. Does Antifa still do like the aggressive tampon training or? That's just a joke.
Men have periods too, Nick.
Yeah.
So
the sad thing is, I realized when I said that joke that it might not sound like a joke.
Right.
It's like,
yeah.
Oh wait, they might actually have that. Jared Frost says, loved yesterday's debate. Disappointed Vince was too mad to address arguments. Do you think conservatives wanting to legislate morality is an admission that they've lost the argument and have to use the barrel of a gun? So yeah, I debated this guy yesterday, Vince James, about he wants to ban the pornography.
Please tell me he got on there and said, I'm Vince James.
I wish. No,
he didn't.
No, he doesn't sound like that.
Oh shit. Oh man.
But
that would have been he missed it.
He wants to ban pornography. He wants to ban gender studies classes from campuses. He wants to ban a whole lot of stuff. He has a list of things that he wants to ban. Doesn't appear to want to ban cigarettes because apparently his wife smokes. Didn't mention banning alcohol. Definitely doesn't want to ban violent video games.
Banning alcohol, because we've never tried that before.
Right. But he does want to ban pornography.
Oh, okay.
100%.
Yeah.
So that was that was an interesting sort of thing. I heard the same statistics about 50 times.
Oh yeah, from that one study.
Yeah. Whichever one he was talking about, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, this is why I don't like using studies in verbal debates. It's like, well, there's a study that says this. Like, okay, well, who did the study? Who paid for the study? What was their methodology? Does it really say that? I don't care. Can we just talk about the principles here?
It was a study done at First Baptist Church. of Birmingham, Indiana. My pastor said, yeah, that's such a tough one, because at the end of the day, like, I get it. I understand. Man, I just, the thing that people cannot quite grab a hold of is that once you give the government the right to start determining what you can and cannot watch and what you can and cannot read, right now, yeah, they might be banning things that you agree with, but eventually somebody's going to get in there and they're going to take it a step further. And it's just better to just say, you know what, we're just going to stay away from the government deciding what we can and cannot view. And how about we just decide, if we don't appreciate something or like something, we're just not going to watch it, right?
Yeah, and you can vigorously encourage others to not watch it.
Not too vigorously, though.
So long as you're not messing with them. You don't want to get too vigorous, especially if they're not watching it and they're a little pent up. Like, you might get an aggressive nipple rub, and then that might set somebody off. A chain
reaction. And just hope it's not cold in there, or they didn't CG. Never mind.
Okay. I don't think that conservatives wanting to legislate morality is an admission they've lost the argument and have to use the barrel of a gun. I think conservatives wanting to legislate morality are just not. They're not thinking through the consequences of that action. They're not thinking that. It's the same thing with all sorts of issues. Like, well, if I just impose these controls, I'm going to be the one setting the rules for the controls. But you're never the one setting the rules for the controls. And if you think like that the elites and the powerful are controlling the world, but you're going to get to set the rules that you want and not the elites who are making the rules that you don't like, I got news for you. They're the elites for the reason. And it's not like you're going to unseat them just by fomenting some mild ire over pornography or something else. So, but no, I don't think it's admission they've lost the argument. I think it's an admission that no, I don't want to say it's an admission they haven't thought through it. I just think many of them have not. And when you start to ask down, the most pressing question last night came from someone in the audience, or who submitted it to Ralph. And they asked Vince, this is my opinion. They asked Vince, what is your definition of pornography? And then he said a bunch of stuff that didn't answer the question. And so then I pushed him on it and Ralph pushed him on it. And he eventually said, well, nudity. That's what it is. So just nudity. So it's like, oh, I mean, that encompasses a lot more than the bukkake gangbangs he kept talking about. So, I mean, I think, I don't know if anybody's ever gotten naked without a bukkake gangbang, but
never.
Jesse Reynolds. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I didn't know.
It's a weekly occurrence. But yeah. So I'm curious though. So does that mean that you would like do away with TV shows that had nudity? Like, would you get rid of Game of Thrones?
That's what I want to know.
Is that considered porn?
Game of Thrones, thank God, banned itself after 8 seasons. So
well, yeah, but not before exposing a lot of America to its to
Daenerys Targaryen.
Well,
no, I don't know, because one of the things that I nostalgically miss about the 80s and 90s was like the gratuitous random nudity in like everything. Like Under Siege is a movie that had zero nudity requirement, but they had Playboy Playmate of the Year or whatever in it, and she pops out of a cake nude for just like 20 seconds, and that's it. It's like, okay, action movies that are slightly below the AAA mainstream movie. Like, this was when Steven Seagal was popular before he started directing his own stuff, and you got Tommy Lee Jones in it. And so they're going to have this, like, just this little bit of gratuitous nudity, because they've got a lot of bits of gratuitous violence. And I'm good with that.
So we would have to ban the Super Bowl, because I do remember a specific situation by which we all got to see. I mean, I'm sorry, had to see Janet Jackson's nipples.
I think what was more offensive was Justin Timberlake being there. No.
Well, yeah, I mean, Justin, that's not how I envisioned that whole. The first time I saw Janet Jackson's nipple, I was not planning on him being there. So no, that's not the way it worked out in my own mind. Yeah, my own fantasies did not include Justin Timberlake in any way. So,
right.
Yeah. But so this is interesting. So if we're banning all nakedness from society, aside from having to shower with our clothes on, and you know what? And I would actually be okay, because you know when you go to the gym and you got the old dudes that like to walk around. I would be totally cool with banning that. Like, they got their balls hanging down to their kneecaps, you know? Yeah, and they just walk around naked.
Yeah, and they always do the one leg up on the bench. It's like, what are you doing there? You like,
because that's the only way to properly dry off, Nick.
Yeah, you got to air it out.
You got to air it out.
I mean, that's what I do, but I do that in the privacy of my own home.
Right. I mean, and I'm like, I'm just gonna shower when I get home. As Cat Williams would say, I'm generally freshening them up anyway.
So, someone said balls to their kneecaps. How? Oh, buddy. I can tell your age already. You'll understand in time, my friend. Jesse,
gravity is undefeated, my man.
Yeah, it was a good discussion. All in all, I thought I enjoyed doing it. I hate debates, because here's how I've heard the results have gone. People who agree with Vince still agree with Vince. People who agree with me still agree with me. Nothing of value was gained or lost, really. And but we had a good discussion. So if you like that kind of stuff, go look at it. If you're undecided, I don't know how people fell on it. I think when you start to get down to it, though, it's so impracticable. We've worked so hard to get away from the idea of banning things that I don't know how overnight it cropped up on the right. And suddenly all of these right of center speakers are for this, like on the same day. That blows my mind. But anyway,
would we ban like the Sistine Chapel? Would you just tear it down?
Yes.
Because
we could put a mosque there instead.
Because there's a lot of porn in the Sistine Chapel. Yeah. In one particular statue of David.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the painting of Jason Derulo touching God. Okay. Jesse Reynolds says, shit, I was really late, but sorry, not sorry. Start the damn stream, Nick. I did. Alistair's Knight says, watch the replay of last night, though I turned to NASCAR's channel with how many times you guys went in circles. Thought I was going to hear Ralph say this race was sponsored by Kentucky during one of the Super Chat breaks. Yeah, no, it wasn't us going in circles so much, man. He kept going back to those same statistics, and I don't talk that way. Like, I don't just rehash through something that I read or study, and some people do, and it's very good. It's good to be informed. It's not criticism of how he did things. It's just how I don't do things. I like to just talk about the principles of it, but I know he was really trying to sell people on the idea that porn is basically murdering the children, and that's his position. I'm just like, yeah, but even if what you're saying is true, I don't think we ban this thing. But R.W. Bimby says, Ron put it where plaintiff cannot access Texas Penal Code Section 37.09. Tampering with or fabricating physical evidence, concealing is a felony. That's calling it a felony. Well, I mean, you can call it a felony. Whether or not he committed a felony is a very, very big stretch by just deleting his Twitter. Plus, plaintiff has access to that to the physical evidence that they're talking about, and I'd have to read the statute to see if that applies in civil court as well. I I'd be curious about it. But anyway, well, I'll take a look at it though. I'll take a look at it. The Dark Knight says, F and rip to Mike. F and rip. A network engineer who commits suicide over alimony and child support because he was not able to keep up after he got laid off. Ban actual harmful things in life like marriage. Shout out to RPW Liberation. It was his friend. Men are being exterminated. Everyone is watching idly by. Ban marriage, not porn. Ban what matters. Ban divorce rape laws. Divorce rape laws, not divorce rape laws. Divorce rape laws. Okay. So there you go. Nova Zero says, here's my theory. Banning of porn is what gave rise to tentacle po-animation. Pornimation? Because where the saucy bits are is conveniently covered by the appendage of a very moist creature. Censorship just makes it better, baby. Sure. Have you ever watched a tentacle hentai?
I cannot say I have.
You think if I got you for Christmas a tentacle hentai that you and the missus would sit down, stoke up the fire, have a glass of wine, sit down on the couch and just conveniently engage in a tentacle hentai?
I know what a hentai is, but when you add tentacle into it, I'm not quite sure I know.
I think you do.
There. Yeah.
just take your vision of hentai and add a bunch of tentacles and you've literally covered it.
I'm really kind of afraid to well, aren't there some more super chats?
I'm just wondering if you guys would sit down, you put the arm around the missus and just fire it up and you're like, look at the wriggling of the tentacles.
Yeah, no, I think we'd be okay. I'm sorry. I'm one of those weird guys who really has a problem with the word moist. So I'm still trying to get past that part of it. So
I think dry tentacle porn may exist too. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think that. I think we'd take a hard pass on that. I mean, if you bought it, I mean, we would not and say we didn't. So
I thought you'd be obligated by honor and politeness.
Probably not.
What if we use like old Hebrew shame culture and hospitality culture to shame you into the hospitality of watching the gift I gave you? I'm just kidding. You don't have to answer.
Yeah. I plead the fifth. I'm allowed to do that here, right?
No. Sakaki Onsai says, sarcasm. Hey Q, what's your problem with Korean saunas? Wanting to ban those because of all the dangly bits and Captain Morgan posing? How culturally insensitive. When feminist SJWs and Nick Fuentes agree, that's no good. Hashtag BBC. Actually, so Vince James, he brings up the 5 very popular porn titles or whatever. And the 5th one he brought up was Mother and Daughter Enjoy Some BBC. So it's just a family watching the news in England, and he wants to ban that. Who wants to ban that? These women are aspiring to educate themselves on current events.
Absolutely. I have no problem with that. And I mean, they have a new prime minister over there. Yeah. He looks a little weird, but I you know what? I'd elect him. Yeah. I've always wanted a president named Boris. Boris.
I'll bring UK back into prevalence.
Come, I give Rob.
We'll make Ireland great again. Natasha, find Moose and Squirtle. Painful buggery. God, that is the best and worst YouTube name you could possibly have, and I don't know how they let you get away with it. It says porn is banned in South Korea, and they have a literal feminist ministry of women. A friend of mine was arrested and accused for publishing child porn for writing about his high school shenanigans. He left the country. So there you go. Voken Do Dinok says, so now that the Space Force is a thing, IRL spaceships when? I want my plasma accelerators and thick alien waifu harem. Yeah, do we get to oppress the aliens we come across? I mean, we have a history of doing that. So do we get to do that again?
I don't think we're capable of not oppressing people. But like, we got to bring.
They're not people. Them's aliens.
They only account for like what 0.3%.
I mean, what if we
whatever
show
their
up?
Population is?
What if we show up on a habitable planet and it's just with a race of feral cat girls? Do we get to oppress the feral cat girls?
It depends on what they look like.
Captain Kirkwood. He puts the T in James T. Kirk.
Yeah, so I'm actually kind of I'm intrigued by this. So, I mean, 1,000 years from now, do you think that if I become an astronaut, like there'll be a Q day on planet 5362?
So you become an astronaut now, and then you get a Q day for
Yeah, so if I find like a group of aliens, like an inhabited planet, and I essentially turn them all into slaves and oppress them, will they one day celebrate me and take a day off in my honor?
No, they won't, but we will celebrate on their planet for them on that day. That's how this works. We will go, and on that day, we will host a party every single year. And who cares what they're doing?
Well, I mean, so if I brought like some sickness from from Earth, there, would they call it the Black Plague?
Yeah, you're orbiting space before landing, just coughing into a bunch of blankets. Like we're gonna subjugate this population real quick.
I mean, that would be highly interesting. Interesting. Well, yeah, we gotta make Ebola. Okay, that just took it to the next level. I bring Ebola to your planet. Yeah, we can tell them about how America is inhabited by only black people and how we're the greatest race.
You just show them Black Panther, be like, this is what Earth is. Wakanda forever.
This is what we do. Yeah. Now that would be fantastic. Oh, sign me up. I'll do it. Hell yeah. I'm all over it.
Yeah, I'm with it. Okay, that's what we've got for super chats for now. So let's God, that's a good discussion. Let's get into what is not. Do you want to start with impeachments or Virginia?
Man, I'm down with both. I wish I had some more whiskey. I gotta take a drink, have a drink to the Virginians. I mean, you know the county I'm thinking of, Nick.
It's a lot of counties. It's not just one, I think.
Well, but the biggest one, what is it, like they're up to like 90 people in their militia now? Like that's
yeah, I don't know. I haven't followed you. I know there's I thought it was like 90 counties and municipalities have declared themselves sanctuaries. It's like almost all of Virginia.
That's fantastic, man. That's fantastic. I'm 100% down for that. So let me ask you this: would that be the way around it? So if they were to ban, I hate this word, but for lack of a better term, assault weapons, right?
Yeah. And they define assault weapons actually pretty specifically in the statute. I was reading it.
Right. And essentially it's pistol grips and
anything with a magazine over 10 rounds.
Right.
Or they even a targus judge would be an assault, would be a banned weapon under the law because it's any shotgun with a rotating cylinder. And I think a targus judge I don't know how many shotguns have rotating cylinders other than a Targus judge, right? Like, is it Targus?
The judge is, my wife would be pissed. Like, that sits next to her bed at night.
The judge?
The judge, yeah.
You have a Taurus, not Targus.
A Taurus, yeah. So she goes 45 long Colt, 1 barrel. The next barrel is shotgun shell, 410 shotgun shell, and she just goes all the way around. I can't believe are you serious?
Well, I mean, it's not specifically listed, but it says any shotgun with a rotating cylinder. But how they define shotgun would be, I don't think they define shotgun very specifically. So it fires shotgun shells.
Well, I know someone who has a Sega 12 gauge and a Sega 10 gauge and a Sega 410 that may or may not have a 30 round drum.
No, it's not a drum magazine. It's like a rotating
magazine.
Cylinder, like a revolver.
A rotating cylinder. That'll be a revolver. So yeah. So the circuit judge, that is an actual rifle / shotgun, with a buttstock. That's interesting. Can we call it an ass stock? An ass stock. Well, I mean, yeah.
Nintendo 12 gauge is better.
Yeah, but can you get Sonic the Hedgehog for it though?
Yeah.
Boom. Boom.
The Sega's an autistic shotgun. No, so I don't know. I think there's the Tarurus. God, I can't even pronounce that. That thing, the judge, I don't know if it qualifies, but it just says a shotgun with a rotating cylinder. So how they define it as a shotgun would be a question. But either way, anything with a magazine that holds more than 10 rounds or a removable magazine, might I suggest.
Wow.
I don't know how I guess it's a magazine. If it's not removable, you just, bottom load it in? Do they even... Because they have fixed magazines in California because of those commies.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they've... I was reading through it. I need to read through it a little bit more. It's an 8-page... It's 8 pages of law, and it's pretty messy. But basically, a bunch of stuff that you buy right now is suddenly illegal. Now, the governor has said there will be a grandfather provision. I don't think I saw one in my glance through on the bill, but there may be. I did not really. Maybe I can pull it up while you chat.
So if there's a grandfather provision, then why were they wanting law enforcement to enforce it? There'd be no need for law enforcement to enforce it at that point, would there? I mean, you just wouldn't be able to sell it there.
Listen, I mean, what are you talking about here?
So no, but it makes zero sense to me. Which let's be real. I mean, there was an assault weapons ban in the United States at one time, brought to us by the Clintons. Which anyway, so and as soon as that weapons ban was ended, AR sales went through the roof. So yeah, I thought it was the coolest part about the story, as far as I was concerned, was all of the law enforcement officials that essentially said they would not that they wouldn't enforce it. That's fantastic. So but what happens then? Who do they bring in to enforce the law if law enforcement refuses to do it?
Yeah, well, let's talk about that in a second. I'm skimming real quick here. I'm looking at the bill. Assault.
Yeah, that AA-12. I remember FPS Russia.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, and he got his hands on the fully automatic version of it, which a fully automatic 12 gauge, ducks beware. Like, I would be like a pheasant duck killing machine. I might actually be able to hit one at that point. That'd be fantastic. Gotta get me one of those. If FPS is he in your chats? FPS Russia?
Oh God, no! I wish. I'd like to talk to him.
If he is in your chats, man, please hit my DM and let me know where I can get one of those. I heard that you have some guns you might be looking to get rid of. So
I think he had to get rid of them straight to the the state or the feds or whatever.
I heard you got a hookup.
Yeah, are those going to the sheriff's auction? Because I'll be there.
Yeah, right.
I would. Oh man, that would be a great thing to do. Like go to the sheriff auction day where they're selling all of Kyle's guns and crowdfund the purchase of all of them. That'd be awesome.
I bet you we could do it.
Oh, they also so one of the new things, they have made it unlawful to carry a loaded shotgun in public area. Yeah.
Define public though.
It is unlawful for any person to carry a loaded shotgun with a magazine that will hold more than 7 rounds of the longest ammunition for which it is chambered on or about his person on any public street, road, alley, sidewalk, public right-of-way, or in any park or any other place of whatever nature that is open to the public. So there you go.
What about hunting public land though?
No, that is actually that is allowed. Let's see. One of the exceptions, it does not apply to any person actually engaged in lawful hunting or lawful recreational shooting activities at an established shooting range or shooting contest.
Well, I'm hunting 24/7.
I'm hunting them urban turkeys. So I'm trying to find the grandfather clause, because the governor said, or they said, it's in the bill that there's a grandfather clause, but that is not what I am finding here. I'm almost.
Wait. You talking about senior blackface?
What? What?
The governor of Virginia.
Yeah, Governor Northrop.
Yeah, the blackface guy. Yeah, the guy who's like, yeah, that was me, I'm sorry, and then came out like, nah, that wasn't me.
Yeah.
So clearly he's not the brightest bulb in the box. So, well, clearly if he's in blackface, he's not bright at all. But yeah. So, okay. So the question is, in that situation, so if they were to, what is the difference between this law and the enforcement of this law and the enforcement of the red flag laws?
Well, the red flag laws are more individual, right?
I understand that, but couldn't the sheriff's department say, no, we're not going to enforce that either?
The sheriffs in Colorado did say that.
That's what I'm getting at. Yeah.
They've said that, and that's an interesting question, because there is, I think, did I talk to you about this? There's a Supreme Court ruling on point with the enforcement of protective orders in Colorado specifically. It's one of the worst rulings, but it may end up having a silver lining, because Scalia was playing 8-dimensional chess before he got suffocated by Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah, so we might have to revisit that. But here's I want you guys to tell me, maybe I'm an idiot.
Antonin Scalia didn't kill himself.
Maybe I'm the idiot. Somebody in the chat, you tell me, you go ahead and correct me. I'm going to read the prohibition on these firearms, and you tell me where I missed the grandfather clause, okay? Because it's in here. I saw a news story, so it definitely is. It says, it is unlawful for any person to import, sell, transfer, Manufacture, purchase, possess, or transport an assault firearm. A violation of this section is punishable as a Class 6 felony. And an assault firearm means a whole bunch of stuff, but it includes shotgun with revolving cylinder, semi-automatic shotgun that expels single or multiple projectiles by action of an explosion of a combustible material that has one of the following characteristics. So it's a semi-automatic shotgun that also has a folding or telescoping stock, a thumb hole stock, a pistol grip that protrudes conspicuously beneath the action of the firearm, the ability to accept a detachable magazine, a fixed magazine capacity in excess of 7 rounds, or any characteristic of like as enumerated in clauses I through V, which are... Oh, that's the same. What I just read. Those were all clauses I through V. So anything that would do that but isn't expressly that, but it has the same thing. So that the shotguns are there. Semi-automatic center fire pistol that has a fixed magazine capacity in excess of 10 rounds, or that has a detachable magazine and one of the following characteristics: a folding or telescoping stock. When you have a semi-automatic pistol, Q, do you have a telescoping stock on that that semi-automatic pistol? I know when I go out to the gun range, the one thing I do is I add the stock to my pistol so I can, and I have to telescope it pretty far so that it feels a little natural.
Yeah, but of course that immediately makes it illegal. So, that falls under the NFA guidelines. So there was already a federal law for that, but of course,
yeah.
Why not have a couple extra?
Let's see.
For good measure.
The capacity to accept a magazine that attaches to the pistol outside of the pistol grip. So extended mags, no good. A shroud that is attached to or partially or completely encircles the barrel and that permits the shooter to hold the pistol with the non-trigger hand without being banned. So when you're two-handing that pistol, you can't have that. That's like a MAC-10, right? Don't they have those on MAC-10s, or was it Uzis?
The shroud?
Yeah, because they like the Uzi
the barrel
had
shroud.
Uzi had a barrel shroud.
Did. The MAC-10, yeah. Also, there's like a I won't. I was gonna grab one and never mind.
A manufactured weight of 50 ounces or more when the pistol is unloaded. No, this is my one-hand bazooka.
What? Who thinks of these things?
A 50-ounce pistol? That's heavy as hell, man.
That is.
That's 4 pounds?
50.
I'm not much of a math. It's 16 ounces. Yeah,
32.
no. It's
little
divided by 3.125 pounds. Maybe it's not as heavy as I thought. 3 pounds?
But I don't even think a Desert Eagle.
I was gonna say I have a 45 that's got to be close to 3 pounds without being loaded.
Man, I'm trying to think. A Desert Eagle in 50 A&E. Well, no, that's the same frame as the 44 mag. So, yeah, I don't even think.
John Russell is saying the pistol stock is for the AR-15 pistols with a 14-inch barrel. The weight is for that too. That makes sense. But
you can't have a pistol stock on it anyway. So the stock that they put on the AR pistols, they're not stocks. They're considered stabilizers, right?
The Taurus Raging Bull is 53 ounces.
Oh, so, really?
Says a Desert Eagle is 70 ounces, 70.4 ounces.
Is it? Holy smokes! Okay.
What's a Springfield 1911? Anybody? While the chat is Googling stuff.
Well, yeah, and I think that would depend on the
time to carbon fiber all these guns, right?
Absolutely, ceramic barrels. Absolutely.
Ceramics aren't super heavy. Yeah.
Yeah. No. We. Yeah. Anyway, it's time for me to buy a 3D printer.
31.5 ounces for the 1911. So I could fish that out of the lake. We're fine. A threaded barrel capable of accepting a silencer, a flash suppressor, a barrel extender, or a forward hand grip. Forward hand grips on pistols just seem funny. Just seems.
I'm sorry. I don't think I've ever seen a pistol.
I have.
With a forward hand grip.
Yeah, it's in some
threaded onto the barrel,
like some garbage action movie. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, like they also had a fully automatic pistol with an extended mag, and it was like they're like it was pretty funny. But yeah, I've seen a forward hand grip on a pistol. It was stupid, but
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we've got semi-automatic centerfire rifles with all of the same stuff. That's all not good. Or a fixed magazine capacity in excess of 10 rounds. So the long and short of it is, an assault firearm is anything with either a mag that protrudes below the gun, or a fixed magazine in excess of 10 rounds. That's it.
Wow. So that's pretty much all the cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious why no one's taken a First Amendment stance to this. Because isn't this banning speech? Like, dude, guns are art. And the artistic modifications are, seriously though, like you can go buy a boring shotgun, but you can buy a shotgun with a bunch of cool tactical shit attached to it, and it looks way more awesome. Right. And that look is an expression, right? That's got to be an expression.
I mean, I've built a couple of ARs, just bought the lowers and bought the uppers and started putting stuff on it. And that is my design. That is my artistic expression. Absolutely.
Yeah, I had a buddy who works at I don't know if he still does. I think he does. He works at he does CNC stuff, and he works at a 22 long rifle modifications manufacturer. So they make all the attachments and swap out parts for 22 long rifles to make them look cool. Because they look boring when you just get a boring one, right?
Sure.
So I think somebody's got to challenge this on First Amendment grounds, I think. Like, because the Second Amendment grounds are going to be like, well, we allow reasonable exceptions. No. This is art, bitch.
Yeah. So, I mean, so first they take the porn, then they take the guns.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So
they better take the guns before they take the porn. I'm just order of operations. I think that one would be safer for them.
Sure. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. No, I never thought about that. I
didn't either until reading this.
Yeah. That's that definitely I could see that argument. See, you always bring up some fantastic arguments, but so is this like never mind. I don't. It just seems interesting, the timing. Like we're impeaching. We're trying to push through an impeachment at the same time we're talking about doing away with Second Amendment rights.
Yeah,
the two aren't tied together, are they?
I mean, they might be.
I just wonder.
The Virginia thing is interesting to me because I'm unclear on something. I have heard that Governor Northrop threatened to bring in the National Guard to enforce the law. But I have read, and I have not done extensive reading on this, but I have read that Governor Northrop's office did not say that, but rather a state legislator said the governor, said the governor might consider doing that. And so
but the problem I have is that what enforcement needs to be done if there is a grandfather clause?
There isn't a grandfather clause. It's not in there. I just read you the law. It's not there. There's no like follow-up provision that says any gun purchased prior to the enactment of this law is. No, it's the possession is illegal.
If I have learned absolutely nothing over the last 3 days. It's that Americans cannot read, and that Americans did not know. I don't think I have a single friend on Facebook that passed American government. Didn't you take that? You took that in school, didn't you?
No, I wrote it in school.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I took civics in 8th grade.
Yeah.
And it was taught by I took it, and then when I went to law school, I learned that what we learned is a little more complicated. But I mean, I got the gist.
I mean, but of course, I'm arguing with people who believe that Judge Judy is a Supreme Court justice. So, what do you do? Yeah, you're kind of fighting an uphill battle at that point.
Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to fight against the wisdom of the public school system, good luck, my friend. Random Blaze says, those are aimed at the AR and AK pistols, Nick. That shotgun part makes my 2 shotguns illegal. Ooh, saucy. Mm-hmm. Those are, you better make premium snaps of those shotguns and send them out. Perception Check says, it was Democrats in the legislature floating the idea of using the National Guard. The Virginia National Guard had to issue a statement following the backlash to those statements. Yeah, I heard the Virginia National Guard guy said, like, we haven't gotten anything from the governor. We're not going to comment on it since we haven't gotten anything from it. But I think that's anybody. This is the problem with legislators, right? Like you've narrowed it down to one. Yeah. Legislators are just idiots like the rest of us, right? Like, so your legislator could be the same guy who's urinating on the grocery store at 2 a.m., right? Like that could be the guy that becomes the legislator. There's no test. There's no entrance exam. It's whoever gets the vote. And so if you convince enough people to vote for an idiot, you'll get an idiot. And so they're going to come out there and talk about literally asking the Virginia National Guard, which is going to be full of Virginians, to go do a police action on U.S. soil against U.S. citizens for reasons when it's not like there's violence in the streets that Virginia is suddenly stopping. Like, there's not an armed rebellion that they're calling the National Guard to quell. And by armed rebellion, I mean like a group of armed people literally shooting people, not just gathering and protesting peacefully. I mean, like, there's not literal political murder happening in the streets that they would need a state of emergency to call in National Guard. It's just, they're just asking them to enforce a law where presumably no violence has occurred yet. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, no, I don't see. I have a lot of friends who are in military. A lot of friends in law enforcement. I don't see any of them being willing to uphold that or to enforce that law, even if they are left leaning and feel that the government was acting within their rights to do so. You're asking them to take their safety in their own hands, right? I mean, especially show up at a Virginian's house. It's Virginia.
Isn't the state motto of Virginia "Sic Semper Tyrannis"? Like, they picked that one. They couldn't pick California, like, we love being tread on. They picked "Sic Semper Tyrannis" to try and like.
Yeah, I just don't see that. I don't see that going well. Like, I find myself wanting to visit the great Commonwealth of Virginia, because I think that would be. I don't know. I might even be welcomed at this point. The last time I went to Virginia, I was made to feel a little, Yeah, some guy said that we don't want your kind around here. But they might actually welcome me this time.
I think they might.
Yeah, I mean, we're all in the same boat at this point. I mean, we're all criminals at this point, right?
You can. Oh gosh, I have a joke, but I think it's too spicy for YouTube, man.
Oh gosh,
you could go in and say, "We're all in the same boat now. Welcome to the Amistad," right? Like that's the Virginia joke I need.
I show up at the protest. Give us free.
Just a giant sign that just says "Give period us period free." God, that'd be great.
Oh, that would be fantastic. Oh, yeah, we got to make a road trip out to Virginia now.
let me cut the ice and dive down in the lake.
Yeah. Well, I know a guy. So I think you'll be okay. So we got to drive across a lot of states that might be problematic, but in those states we'll just have you drive.
Yeah,
and I'll sit in the back.
Right. What are you doing, sir? I'm transporting a criminal.
Oh, keep going.
What state was it? Is it? It's Tennessee. I love driving through Tennessee and Kentucky. Like right when you leave Illinois, because Illinois, everybody drives like trash.
Right.
At least when I drove. But once you hit like Tennessee and Kentucky, if you're not going 95 miles an hour, you're about to get killed.
Well, the thing I like about it, once you get south though, if people are driving a little slower, they'll actually pull off on the shoulder to let you go past. Right? Like that's a real thing.
That's the Texas way.
Yeah,
I love that.
Up here in Minnesota, like they'll drive 30 miles an hour for 100 miles and they don't give a damn who's behind them. So
yeah,
it took a while to get used to.
I was driving with Lady Rackets today and we were running late for an appointment and I turned to her and I said, I hate being late because I hate driving like a dick. But I mean, we've got a big van, right? Like it's a big, giant one of those. It fits all the kids. This is not a minivan. This is a van.
It's a short bus.
It's got a V8, right? And this thing can move. I am right on top of people. This van is bigger than an F-150. It's taller. It doesn't fit in most garages. It's 7 feet tall. So I am coming up on people and they will drive 50 miles an hour in a 60 mile an hour zone with me 3 feet away from them. Just like, please move. Just please. I just need to get around you. But it's that time of day where everybody was leaving work early because it's Friday. Oh my God.
And it's almost Christmas. So yeah. I'm sorry. It's almost the holidays. Are we allowed to say Christmas anymore?
No, we banned that.
Okay, yeah.
Too many people were masturbating to Christmas.
Okay, got it. Yeah. So sorry. Happy holidays.
As
people.
Legit as it gets, 12 seats. 12 seats. We went with the 12 passenger Nissan because Nissan has the removable seats. The Ford 15 passenger that you can't I don't think you can remove their benches. So you actually lose a lot of space if you're not filling it with people. So
actually, so Soder and I had an argument because we were thinking about hijacking your van and taking a road trip. But
were we going to paint it brown and stop in Miami?
No. We were going to stay in the state. But Soder didn't think that we'd be able to get both families in one vehicle.
Your two families?
Yeah. So
how many kids do you have?
Can I say that on here?
It's up to you. You don't have to.
Well, we've got 3.
Yeah.
So, and then you got Soder's crew. So I think
you can fit them.
Right, that's what I told him. So yeah,
you
we might need
can fit 10 backseat passengers.
Well,
and two front seat.
Well, Soder, we're taking a trip. We're taking a road trip.
Where are you going with my van?
We're going to Duluth, man.
Duluth?
Yeah. Well, first we're going to the city so we can get some Popeyes chicken sandwiches.
How dare you?
Well, hey, I've been trying to get you to go for a hot minute, and you haven't come on with the come on. So I told
you when I'm going to the cities.
I even offered you my protection to go to the bad neighborhood where they don't change the grease so often, so the chicken actually has more
uptown.
Flavor. Yeah, well, so
I've been in that Uptown Popeyes. How many times have you been there? I've been there a bunch of times.
I've been there a ton of times. Actually, I was there one day, and I watched a dude get beat up by his girlfriend because while he was sitting there eating his chicken, they came and repoed his car in the parking lot.
I remember going there and seeing the second ATM. The one with the chain on it. Because they used to only take cash, and so they had an ATM. They had an ATM chained to the wall, and I was like, oh man, that first ATM got took.
hey, can you ban this dude, Dat Boy Orley? Yeah, he needs to be banned immediately. Chick-fil-A is better than Popeyes. That is heresy.
I know a lot of people like Chick-fil-A. Let me do this way.
It's good, but it ain't better than Popeyes.
Their waffle fries are really good.
They are. I'll give them that, but not better than the seasoned Popeyes fries.
But I never get the Cajun fries because I always get the Cajun gravy mashed potatoes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hey, the red beans and rice is legit too.
It is good, but I get the mashed potatoes and gravy. Sometimes I get the red beans and rice if I get the 2 sides. But no, Chick-fil-A is well cooked, but they add a sweet to their batter. Something like a honey, and I don't No.
I'm tripping, man. Hey, look. Hey, first off, I don't consider myself to be an expert on a lot of things, but when it comes to fried chicken, I mean, come on, about as close to a doctorate as you can get. So yeah, I'm not gonna have some soy boy telling me about fried chicken. It's just not gonna. Zaxby's. Come on, man. What in the world is this bougie?
Have you had Zaxby's?
I've had Zaxby's, but it's totally different. We're talking chicken fingers.
Yeah. I like me some Raising Cane's. There is no there's the problem with Raising Cane's, of course, is that their chicken is not super flavorful. Like their batter's not flavorful. It's not seasoned.
Yeah.
Because they want you to use their bootleg sauce. I don't really care for sauces in general. But their chicken is so juicy that it's just delicious. Like I think they cook the chicken the best of the chicken fingers.
All right, so I got a question for this cat so he said Church's Chicken. Let me ask you, with Church's Chicken, do they still give you the little pepper in the box, like the banana pepper? They still do that? Do you know? When was the last time you went to Church's?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, it's been a decade at least.
Yeah, it's probably been a good, I don't know, 6-7 years.
The problem is I can actually get Popeye's fried chicken in Minnesota now. So now when I go to Texas, I don't eat fried chicken unless it's at a restaurant.
Man, hey, when you go back to Houston at whatever point in time, you got to go to Timmy Chan's.
Yeah, you keep telling me that. Hey, you want to go to Houston in July?
I'm down.
Why in God's name would anybody want to go to Houston in July?
I just go to eat. I just want Shipley's.
I may be attending an anime convention in July.
Ooh, I was told by a mutual friend of ours to avoid anime conventions with fervor. Said by all means stay away.
I mean, I don't know. I have a good time at them.
Well, so I have to go now because he told me to never go.
Yeah, he told
one.
you to stay away from them.
Yeah, he told me to stay away from one. So like I have no choice. Like that's just as good as booking my ticket. So I'm down.
I'll let you know. I think I'm gonna go to this one. It's Anime Matsuri. It's a big one.
Okay. Well, hey, I don't want to go to a little one.
There was a Papados because it was in George R. Brown Convention Center, and there's a Papados in the convention center.
I'm all over it already.
Yeah.
So yeah. Hey, can I buy my ticket? When can I buy my ticket? I'm there.
Well, I'll let you know when I finalize that I'm gonna go.
All right. I'm going. So hopefully you're going with me. So I gotta go now.
So it's the best in the big chicken has to be Bojangles. Bojangles has good enough chicken, but it's not the best chicken. Their biscuits are great.
Their biscuits are legit, but no, it's not the best chicken. I'm sorry.
But a cat can have kittens in an oven. That'll make them biscuits. I wonder what I gotta do to get Quan LX on the show.
Hey, bro, I'm working on it. I actually did send him a.
You emailed him?
A DM. Yeah. He hasn't responded yet, but dude, if I do, you got to come on the show.
I would just sit there and be like, "Can I learn from you? I disagree with everything you say, but I love the way you say all of it."
Yeah. No, I was sitting in front of the TV that day. A cat can have kittens in the oven, don't make them biscuits. I was like, he's got a point. He's got a legit point.
Okay, someone said going to get some fried gator. Let me tell you, I know where to get
those.
No. Trust me. Don't go to Papados for fried gator.
Where you go for fried gator?
It's this little hole in the wall over in the good hood where I grew up. Right off of I-45, and I think TC just.
No, man. See, like it's funny because like I don't go to your old neighborhood.
I wouldn't go to my old neighborhood.
It's a little too hood for me.
Yeah.
So
over near there, next to the Foodorama, there is a Cajun town. It is the size of my office. It was opened by the former executive chef of Papados.
Really?
And the most expensive thing on the menu is $12.
Man, all right.
Everything is great. They have gumbo.
They got Grubhub.
It's almost everything is fried because it's a fried, like this is a grease joint, right? So you get it's the good stuff. But they also have gumbo. They have dirty rice. They have red beans and rice.
They got good hush puppies.
Everything's good. Everything is good. You get hush puppies in every order, of course.
Oh, man.
Or at least you did last time. Cajun Town, man. If you're in Houston,
it's called Cajun Town.
It's called Cajun Town. It looks like you shouldn't go in there, and it is owned by the former executive chef of Papados, the guy who made the menu, folks. He decided to go small and go on his own. Was tired of being corporate, and he went and made a fried Cajun seafood place that is excellent.
Yeah, hey, I just want to dox Mr. Rackets here. So this dude, don't let him fool you. Like, this dude is from like one of the most legit hoods in America. Okay, so he grew up, actually went to school with Slim Thug. Well, the guy who is now known as Slim Thug. Like if you want to get crack, you go to his hood. I
don't like. It was always funny to me because people ask me, they're like, well, you don't know what it's like being a minority. It's like, trust me, I know what it's like to shit my pants on a bus because I'm the only white kid who's not like, I'm the only white kid and the only person who is not fighting someone from a neighboring apartment. Like,
Hey, I gotta ask you, man. Did you ride the front or the back of the bus?
seat 7.
Seats.
But we had assigned seats.
Of course, your seat was up towards the front.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah, you and the other white guy.
I was seat 7. I was on the left side of the bus. Our bus got stopped by the cops, man. He threatened to arrest 4th graders.
Because they were throwing up gang signs or what?
No, because the one was beating the hell out of the other. I was in first grade. I was going to Inwood Forest Elementary. Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to know, like, where
That's right down the street from Greens Point Mall.
Yeah, I grew up in Inwood Forest Village, which was next to Acres Homes, which was next to some great apartment complexes over on West Gulf Bank. West Gulf Bank in Little York is right where, that's Houston city limits. We were just inside, and if I would have gone to high school in Houston, I would have gone to Eisenhower, which means I wouldn't have been a victim of a mass shooting. I would have been a victim of an everyday shooting.
It don't happen all at one time, but I mean, at the end of the year, yeah, you're gonna have like 20 people. Them's rookie numbers. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah,
bad.
It's always funny to me. So when I moved up to Minnesota, like, it's kind of weird. All of my friends were black and Mexican. Like, almost all of them. It's just, but that's just who I hung out with down in Texas, because that's literally everybody who was around. Well, except for the Arabic kid, Fatty. He was cool. Not Fatty with a T, Fatty with a D. Fadi.
Fadi.
We used to play with a broken 9mm.
Oh,
and watch Puppet Master. And I told my parents, I'm like, yeah, we were playing with Fadi's gun. And they're like, what the hell? Don't worry, it was broken. It didn't work. His parents gave it to us. Oh,
that's the hood, man.
it was. It never even occurred to me, because I thought guns were cool, man. So it never occurred to me that was weird. It was unsafe. They made me watch a bunch of movies where kids like accidentally got killed by guns and stuff. It was good times. But he still came to my birthday party. So I always think back on like the kids I used to run around the neighborhood with. When I moved to Minnesota, we didn't run around neighborhoods as much. But down in Texas, it's hot. It's hot in the summer, so you try not to run around neighborhood. But all winter, it's nice. So you just run around outside, and you
just got to be inside before the streetlights come on.
Yeah, well, we didn't really have those because.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were in the hood. I'm sorry. Yeah, y'all don't have streetlight. We were in
Inwood Forest Village. It was a development that was supposed to be nice, but it was right before the '80s mortgage crisis. Because I think my parents, they were telling me about it. Because you get a mortgage now, it's like 4.25% is a bad rate. Like, right. It's like, oh, you're over 4%. What's your credit? 200. When my parents got this house, they had an adjustable rate mortgage with like a starting rate of like 11%.
Yeah.
And then because they bought it in like 1982 or 83, and this thing kicked up to like 15 to 18% by the time we moved out. So they almost immediately owed more on the house than it was worth. And that happened to everybody. And then the developer went bankrupt, who had bought this whole subdivision. They were going to, put up all these townhomes. He went bankrupt. And so they stopped. So it was actually a cool neighborhood, because where there were supposed to be houses, there was just open field everywhere. That was undeveloped. So we actually were able to run around this stupid thing, and there were fields all over. But our neighbor 2 doors down, he kind of took away from all of the freedom that we had, because he would threaten children with guns. He would threaten adults with guns too. Make no mistake, he was not discriminatory in that way. He threatened everybody with guns, and I never saw that man not in a tank top.
so my grandmother's man, beef and bun. Hey, beef and bun is legit.
What's beef and bun?
Beef and bun. You never been to beef and bun, but you got to go to the one in
No, we lived in the hood, but we ate out.
not South. Is it South Park? Not South Park. Yeah, but that's in Hiram Clark though. Now you're in my neck of the woods. So yeah.
Oh, so beef and buns is a little bougie. I see.
No, there's nothing bougie about
I'll dox this guy. Listen. Let me dox this guy. I found out where he grew up, and let me tell you the story. When my parents used to ask me what I wanted to do, they're like, "What do you want to do today, buddy?" I would say, "Can we go drive by the homes in the neighborhood where Q grew up?" Because I thought the houses were so cool and they were big. So I wanted to go look at houses that we couldn't live in.
Oh, man. Yeah, real name Clarence. Shut up. Get the hell out of here. That was my grandfather's name, Clarence. Shut up. No, but my grandmother actually lived in Hiram Clark, so we used to go see how the other side lived. We go down there and go to Beef and Bun and check it out. And my dad used to work right across the street from Beef and Bun at the Eckerd's drugstore. So
I remember Eckerd's.
Yeah, he used to work right across. So we go see my dad at work, and then he'd take us over to Beef and Bun, and they'd have baked potatoes, and they'd do like stuffed baked potatoes with brisket. I almost
got one of those at Stanley's the other day.
Man, you tripping. You should have got it.
I got brisket. I got brisket bark. I got bark brisket. And then I got, because at Stanley's you order brisket and then you have like the next 9 choices. Like you get chopped or sliced, and then you can get the fatty end.
Why would you ever do chopped? That is sacrilege.
Lady Raggets likes to chop brisket, but here's the thing.
She's from Minnesota though, so she doesn't count.
But here's the thing. It doesn't matter if you pick chopped or sliced. Then you get the next choice. You get the lean end, the fatty end, bark, or the burn ends. And you could pick any of those.
You gotta go with the burn end.
You can get burnt ends minced down. It's just eating seasoning.
Hey, and let's make something very clear. At the end of the day, the police don't give a damn which neighborhood you live in. You still a ninja. Right.
Yeah, so, you actually, I bet you didn't play outside in your neighborhood at all.
And, hey, you had to be in the house. You don't belong
here, son.
Yeah, you had to be in the house 10 minutes before the street lights came on. So let me just go ahead and put this out there. I played with my siblings. That was about it, because the neighborhood that we grew up in, I heard. Well, my mommy says I can't play with people like you. So yeah, so this was still Texas in the 80s. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. So no, I still hold the rights to the T-word passes, and I'll be handing them out. Do I need to get a T-word pass?
Yeah, but listen, I gave him the bulk discount when he bought them.
Yeah, they asked, do I need to get the T-word? Is Nick handing out the T-word passes? Yeah. He might be able to hand them out. I mean, he's been made an honorary member of the club, especially when I realized, I was like, man, dude, I would have never came and visited Nick. Like, Nick lived in the hoodie hood. So yeah, Greenspoint Mall, man. Like, yeah, we didn't even go to that side of town at all.
We always went to Willowbrook instead of Greenspoint.
Yeah.
Because no joke, y'all, Greenspoint at Christmas time has snipers on the roof.
You're right.
Like, that's not a meme. Because the carjackings are real.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And Sharpstown. Like, I actually know a guy who, dude was waiting underneath his vehicle and like slashed his Achilles and took his keys when he walked out at Christmas time. I'm like, how do you slash somebody's Achilles at Christmas time? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. So, the T word. Dick Masterson has decided that the N word is too close to the N word, so it's now T for the N word. So that's the T word. So we're adopting that.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we don't want to be just like everybody else. So the N word is getting a little bit too far down the line.
That's too sensitive. It's too close to home.
Yeah. I had a friend of mine ask me today. So he's like, so can I use the word Negro? It's like, okay, look, you can use whatever word you want to use, because hey, at your own risk. But
no, please use the proper term, hermano negra.
Yeah. So I had my mother-in-law is good for that. It's like, oh, I just love my little Negro grandbabies. So it's like, yeah.
Oh my God. Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, right. I was like, how are you married to a black man for 30 years and you still think that's okay?
Maybe that's why she thinks it's okay.
Hey, she earned her stripes. Hey, it is what it is. So she actually raised them. So her little zebra kids. Anyway.
Oh, come on.
Eventually, you're just gonna stop letting me on here.
Nope. Literally never. I bless the rains down in Africa, man.
Oh man. So yeah, we're gonna have to do a H-Town stream one day.
We got to do it there though.
Oh yeah, we got to do it from H-Town, and actually we'll do it as we drive through Acres Home. But
like, look, there's no foundation to these houses. They're all on blocks.
All on
Why?
stilts.
To make them easier to steal.
Man, try to keep the roaches out of them, bro.
My sister went to, bless my poor sister, she went to Bethune Middle School, which was smack in Acres Homes. And the gangs would drive by, and while the kids were out at recess, just to piss them off, the gangs would drive by and just shoot out the roof of the car, right? Just so the kids would have to go inside for recess.
That's messed up.
It's just rude.
It's a nice day, and you gotta have. I mean, I used to hate rainy days because we had to do.
Because people who don't live in Texas don't understand. You don't have like walls in your school. You have a roof, but the rain comes in sideways. But you have an outdoor school for most of it.
It's well, I mean, I'm sorry, and not in the woodlands, but yeah, I understand that.
You didn't. I guess it was just because we couldn't afford walls.
Yeah, no, sorry, I can't identify. But yeah, I'm sorry.
Thinking back on how poor I sound. Okay, so before,
did you have shoes?
It's no longer. I don't think it's named this anymore. But the elementary school I went to first was Inwood Forest, but they built a new one right by my house, which used to be called Stovall Elementary. I think it's been renamed to Van Jones Elementary or something by now. But I don't remember what it's called. But before they built that school, they were just giant piles of dirt and garbage. And that was the most fun place on earth. We would, all the neighborhood kids would go, and it's like, Mom, Dad, we're going to go play at the mounds of dirt. And they knew exactly what we were talking about. That was what we did. We played with dirt.
Man, so
these things were like 20 feet high.
Oh yeah. But I remember back when we go visit my grandmother, and my parents would like go and buy us like Charles Barkley's. Because of course nobody would try to steal those.
It's like,
now you can't.
Look, you need to give me those shoes. Those aren't Jordans.
Yeah. So I'd be like, so yeah, before we go to see grandma, we'd have to get either some shacks, or we'd have to get some Charles Barkley's, something that nobody wanted to steal because they were like jacking people for their shoes back in the day. So yeah, no, the Charles Barkley's were they were where it was at back in the day. So yeah, that was an H-Town legend. So yeah, check it in, Q. I want those shoes.
I doxed my childhood address so people can go look it up. 8715 Cold Lake, Houston, Texas. Can you check it out? The neighborhood looks a lot different now because eventually, when things settled down, we moved out of there in the 90s, and when things settled down, when we moved up to Minnesota, some developer came in and finished up the neighborhood. So now there's a lot more houses. We had two cars. More
houses, but the neighborhood's not any better.
We had 2 cars stolen out of our driveway while we were home. Like,
all right. So my grandmother, she was in Hiram Clark, right? And there was one white guy in the entire neighborhood, right? And his name was Mr. Kratz. I never saw Mr. Kratz in a shirt ever. Like I'm sure when he went to work he wore a shirt, but as soon as he came home the shirt came off, and he'd sit out in the dang. He had a TV, and he drank Busch Light.
Yeah.
And this dude was like the most ghetto redneck I've ever met in my life. This dude would sit out there from the time he got home from work till the time that he went to bed and just get drunk every single night, and would sit there and just cuss at kids as they went by.
That's living the dream.
Right? But nobody messed with that old man. Like, nobody. Like, and his kids were like the only white kids in the black school. Like, it was crazy, man. It was absolutely crazy. But he was a cool dude. He was a really cool dude. But yeah, nobody messed with him. So I think when I think about you in Acres Home, I just figure you were the Kratz of the North Side. So
it was a good time, but I you don't realize like how terrible it is until you're older. Like you go back and you're like, damn, I don't feel safe here. I grew up here. I don't feel safe at all. The best part is when we would have tornadoes hit like our area, because in the 80s, I don't know if it's still this way, but in the 80s, Harris County was the tornado capital of the United States.
Yeah.
And I remember when tornadoes would hit near our house, because then the news would talk to people from around our area. It's so funny. It's like, oh, good, our neighborhood's mentioned and it wasn't a murder.
Yeah, but for some reason they'd always find the most illiterate people they could find. Like, no, they speak too well. No, we need to find somebody else. Oh yeah, they can't pronounce their R's. Let's talk to them.
Yeah. It's the people who live across the street from the golf course.
Right?
Because that's the wild thing. So I remember this stuff so much. There is a golf course kind of near the neighborhood I grew up, and the houses on the golf course are really nice, and the houses across the street are like just hot garbage, right? And that's Houston for you, though.
Right.
Like this wasn't even a good course, but there's one house, and I need to go look up the value of it, because it had a big like U-shaped. This is the first U-shaped driveway I saw in my entire life. It was on the way from my parents' house to my grandparents' house, and it's on the golf course, and it has a U-shaped driveway, and it has a fountain out front, and they literally so when you see a TV commercial and there's a car with a bow on it, And you're like, yeah, okay, because someone got a car for Christmas. Okay, yeah, sure. And some idiot bought a giant bow and thought that'd be a great idea and put it on it. They actually had his and hers Corvettes with bows on them for Christmas at this house.
Oh, wow. But
it has to be
dope.
4 times the value of every house around it. And that's just how Houston is, man. It's my favorite city. It is chaos embodied in a city.
Did that trust fund baby Nick really leave you near?
Live near you in the hood.
Actually, I didn't live in the hood.
No, he didn't live in the hood. That's the thing. This guy lived in the same neighborhood as an Arabic prince who hung out in Houston, moonlighted.
Yeah, so I can't claim that one. I mean, we used to go to the hood because my parents wanted to let us see this is, if we didn't work so hard, this is where you could.
That's the most boondock parent story you could come up with. We didn't work hard. This is what you be in.
Yeah. All right. So Beef and Bun. It's off of West Fuquay. That's right.
It still exists?
Huh?
Does it still exist?
Oh, hell yeah, man. Beef and Bun is a hood legend.
Do you ever go to the original Ninfa's downtown?
Yes. That's the one that's open till like what, 3 o'clock in the morning, right?
I don't know. I watched a thing on them on the Food Network not too long ago, and the only thing they buy is skirt steak. That's it, and they buy more skirt steak than like any other restaurant. And this guy just opens a drawer and it's just meat. It's just skirt steaks all over. And I was like, God, I want to go back. And they
got like 12 old Mexican women in there pressing out flour tortillas. Yep. It's fantastic.
Rolling them out, pressing them out, throwing them down. I haven't been to the original Ninfa's in so long. And I wanted to go when I was in downtown Houston last year, but it was like 4 miles away and I didn't have a rental car. So I was like, I got to go back.
Yeah. I tell you what, though, like in a pinch, I'll be honest, Taco Cabana is better than any Mexican food you can get in Minnesota.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I was about to say, I'm sorry. I grew up on that Casa Olay.
Yeah, like you can't even get anything that's up to the standards of Taco Cabana in Minnesota.
You kind of can in our there's 2 restaurants owned illegally in our town, you know. Those are authentic AF.
Yeah, I won't go so far as to say Taco Cabana rules. Yeah, this guy. Yeah, I just say that in a pinch it'll do.
My dad. We lived in Houston, Texas, and my dad loved Jack in the Box tacos the most.
Oh. Man, I gotta say, when I was in college, Jack in the Box tacos went hard in the paint. Like
50 cents for 2.
Right? You can get 4 tacos. Like, I'm not sure what. It wasn't meat.
No.
I think it was like finely ground horse with a bean paste.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could definitely get full off of like $2. So
I do not know flying saucer pies. What is the? Oh God, we went to this. Birra Paredes is the pizza place that we used to go to. Birra Paredes was a real like fancy pizza place. It probably wasn't, but that's what I remember. That was the pizza place because my mom loved Birra Paredes. So no, I've never been. I don't know flying saucer pies. I may have been there, but I don't think so. But Birra Paredes is where we went for pizza. And then when we moved to Minnesota, we realized that pizza wasn't special. Stephen Frost says it's true in Kentucky. If you aren't doing the speed of light, you aren't doing it right. And Voken Dodinox says Chick-fil-A is like a Mexican mudslide in the rainy season. Oh.
Wow. So I remember, so speaking of pizza not being special, I remember going to visit my grandmother in the hood, right? And so just to kind of give you an idea.
My great-grandmother lived in the hood, right off of on Telephone Road, right out of downtown.
Yeah.
Like when downtown gives way to the not quite downtown, that's where she lived. She lived there for like 200 years, I think. We'd visit her on the way to NASA.
So my cousin came to visit our house, right? And my mom says, yeah, we're going to order pizza. What do you guys want? And he said, okay. He gave her, he said, I want pepperoni, extra cheese, blah, blah, blah. And so 10 minutes goes by. He's like, what time are you going to get the pizza? She's like, no, they're delivering it. His eyes got huge. He's like, they deliver the pizza to your house? and we're like, yeah, like that's kind of how you get pizza. He's like, man, in my neighborhood, like at nighttime, they deliver pizza.
My neighborhood, they drop it at the sign at the intersection.
Right? It was like completely mind blown that they would actually be brave enough to bring pizza to your house at night. Like that just blew his mind absolutely 100. I was like, you mean to tell me in your neighborhood you can't get pizza delivered? Like, really? Like, how do you get your pizza? Oh, we go pick it up. Oh, that sounds awful. So,
what's funny? Like, I never thought of it. I'll have to ask my parents. I legitimately do not remember ever having a pizza delivered to our house. Ever. And we lived not too far from a Pizza Hut. There's a Pizza Hut. There was a Pizza Hut right at West Gulf Bank in Little York.
Yeah.
Because I remember it. There was a 7-Eleven where they had Street Fighter, and there was the Pizza Hut, and then you had to turn, coming from my house, you would turn right on West Little York, and or on Little York, not West Gulf Bank, Little York. You turn from West Gulf Bank onto Little York, and then just like maybe 0.2 of a mile, if that, you turn right, and that's where my daycare was, America's Choice Daycare. We're not going to go too deep into America's Choice Daycare and Miss Gwyn. Miss Gwyn was nice. Her kids got some nice Transformers for Christmas, I'm sure, because she took them from me. That bitch. I went back years later with my sister. I'm like, are you ready to face this trauma? And we went and we looked inside and we looked, and it says, principal of the daycare. And it's Miss Gwyn. And we both like looked at her. I'm like, she's not in prison? Like, how did this even happen? This chick was evil. Oh my God.
Oh man. Yeah, so I guess I can't complain about my kindercare experience.
She didn't just take my someone says she took my Transformers away. She didn't just take them away. She took them. She took them away. It was Perceptor. It was not Perceptor. Perceptor was the microscope. It was the Decepticons. It was 3 Decepticons that formed into a camera together.
You would play with Decepticons.
You had the lens, and you had the right side and the left side. When they all hooked together, they made a camera. And she took, I can't remember what his name was. It's cool though. She took them, and then she's like, "You can't play with these at nap time." And she took put them in her desk. And then when my parents picked me up, I told them, I'm like, she took my Transformers and said that you guys could get them back. And my parents are like, "Hey, where's his Transformers?" She said, "I didn't take his Transformers."
Oh, snap. She lied about it?
Yeah, I'm like, she took my Transformers. And they're like, "We know, it's okay. We're not going to argue with her because she's mean and black." So they bought me a new one instead. It was easier than arguing with Miss Gwyn, the tyrant of America's Choice.
And you don't argue with a black woman. That's
Reflector. Reflector's his name. Yeah. To my parents' credit, they bought me another reflector. So
Oh, see, your parent. So you was the richest kid in the hood.
No, I wasn't. My dad worked for Cray, and this is where we get the it's raining no moment. My dad worked for Cray. Cray is stationed out of Minnesota, which is why we're here. And but prior to working for Cray, he worked for a company called Control Data, along with a guy named Steve Cray, who then founds Cray, and some people go with him. But Cray gets up to Minnesota. We're still in Houston. And then in the late 80s, they're flying my dad to Minnesota constantly for weeks at a time. And every time he left, I would have the sad movie scene where I'd watch my dad out the front window drive away to the airport, and then I wouldn't see him for a little while, and then he'd come back. And every time my dad came back, he would bring me a souvenir from Minnesota. And his souvenir was always just a transformer. Like, it was a different transformer. That was the thing. So it's one of those things that it's probably why one of the reasons that reinforced why I like Transformers so much. Is that I was able to associate the receiving of a Transformers toy with my dad coming back from being away. So he didn't ever leave for cigarettes. He only left for work, and he always came back.
So wait, you knew your dad?
Yeah.
So I spent my early years in Houston. And then my parents got the bright idea my dad took a job in Alaska. And so we moved up there, and then moved back to Texas in my late high school years. So
in the living years. Right.
in the living years. So I understand the change to the shock to the system of going from a fantastic climate to going to this really sucks, and why does the air hurt my face?
Fantastic climate only because your brain has saved you from remembering the 100 days. That was when I love the 100 days. I always think about it because we would drive down Antoine to go eat, and there was what was the place? There was a Tex-Mex place called Monterey Jack's, I think, that we would go to. And then we would also go a little bit farther to the International House of Pies in Houston. And that International House of Pies, I did not appreciate as a kid, and I regret very much not appreciating it. We would just go and eat pie for dinner. But I remember those days because that's when everybody is outside. This is the difference between southern climates and northern climates. Is in southern climates, like when you're poor, it's cheaper to be, or it's actually less bad to be outside on a hot day than inside. Even though it's 100 degrees out and 100% humidity, you'd rather be outside than in the oven that is your metal apartment or shack. So you just see people just out milling about. And, oh my God. I cannot believe my grandmother and I used to walk down Antoine. We used to walk together down Antoine to the Little Caesars. That was my first exposure to pizza other than Birra Paredes, was we would walk to the Little Caesars, but we'd eat it there. Or we'd walk to there's a Baskin Robbins and a Subway. And it's like a mile walk down Antoine, like an old lady and a little kid. Like, I don't know, maybe this is like Mystic River and I actually got abducted and this is just my heaven that I've used to cope for all these years. Because I don't know how I lived through that.
Man, so I would say that the one thing that I regret about not taking advantage of in my Mattress Mac.
Hey! Mattress Mac Gallery Furniture saves you money.
Dude is actually aged pretty well. Like, I just saw him like, what, I don't know, 2 months ago. Dude is...
I don't care what anybody says. That guy has more money than Bill Gates.
That dude is like the ultimate hustler, man. Like, to this day, like his claim to fame is, you buy it today, it'll be in your house tonight. Like, they will literally follow you home with your mattresses.
They deliver the furniture you buy at Gallery Furniture the same day you buy it. Anywhere in Houston. And if you know anything about driving in Houston, that may be 6 hours away. If you have to cross that I-45 and 10 intersection, you might be there forever. That's purgatory.
Yeah. Yeah, especially when your AC goes out in your 1994 Camry. You're like, I don't know whether or not it's worse to drive with the windows open or worse to drive with the windows closed. It's just miserable regardless.
People who didn't grow up with Mattress Mac don't understand this. When you go to Gallery Furniture, it used to be a little building. Then it was a building with a tent on the side of it. Now it's a building with a big-ass tent that looks kind of permanent attached to it. Like, the tent may be made out of ceramic. You don't even know anymore. That tent looks like it's metal. And it may be. But it's huge.
It's like an old school circus tent.
It's like a Frankenstein of a store that's just grown. Like, he bought a store from somewhere else and had it moved and attached and sutured on to Gallery Furniture. And so you drive past this place and you're like, what the hell? Because there's still just one location, right?
No, there's two of them now.
There's two now.
There's two of them now.
45 years later, there's two Gallery Furnitures.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I agree with you. I'm pretty sure that he must not pay taxes because the dude's got to be richer than Bill Gates. Like, he is like an old school hustler.
Here's how ludicrously rich this guy is. Someone says he's worth 80 million. Then he's doing more cocaine than anybody you've ever met. Because when Enron went up and Enron Field, the home of the Houston Astros, had its naming rights revoked, Mattress Mac only lost to Minute Maid. Like, this is just an asshole with a store. Like,
that sells mattresses.
This is a Korean grocer, right? Who is trying to name a baseball stadium of an MLB team. Like, he's just a guy with a store. But that's how crazy this story is and how much money it makes.
Dude, I would have put money in just for it to be called
Mattress Mac Stadium?
Well, or Gallery Furniture Field. Like, that would have been fantastic. Gallery for, like, how much more Houston can you, like, Mattress Mac at this point is Houston.
Yeah. That's what I people don't understand. I legitimately, I can tell you every warm feeling I get when I'm driving into Houston, Texas. It starts in Kansas. Okay? It starts all the way in Kansas because that's the first time I see a pump jack out in the field. The oil things,
yeah,
pump jacks that go up and down.
Yeah.
Those were everywhere in Houston for a time.
Right.
And it starts in Kansas. I see a pump jack and I get a smile on my face. Lady Rackets will look over at me the second the first pump jack is spotted because she knows that I smile. Because it reminds me of the thing. I loved pump jacks as a kid. I don't know why. They're just out there and they're just soothing to me. So there's that. And then later in life, it's the WinStar Casino in Oklahoma. That big, giant casino right on the border of Oklahoma and Texas.
Somebody said it's one of the largest casinos in
the world. It's the largest. Yeah. I think it's the largest casino in the world.
Yeah, and it's a tent.
Something. And so then, and then when you get to right when you cross the border, the first billboard as far back as I can remember reading billboards when we crossed the border from Minnesota back to Texas, is the microsurgical vasectomy reversal billboard. On 35, you cross from Oklahoma into Texas, and there is a big billboard. It's like microsurgical vasectomy reversal. I haven't seen that billboard in any other state I've been in, but in Texas, they're everywhere. So that's the first one. And then
I wonder if Jason Derulo could get his done for half off, half price.
and then my nostalgic feelings kind of fade until you get, you drive through Dallas, which is terrible. But then you get down to Houston, and you get in, and you're like, okay, that Sam Houston statue is coming up. And I'm like, that's my favorite slave-owning racist. God, I love Sam Houston. It's a big-ass statue right on the side of 35, or 45. Is it 35 or 45?
45.
Yeah, that's right. So it's right on the side of 45, and it's this giant statue of Sam Houston. I didn't know anything about him, but I always loved that statue. And then then you come in, and then the next best feeling was seeing a Wieners. You remember that store, Wieners?
Yeah.
I don't know why. I know why, but go ahead.
No, I haven't been to Wieners in
Wieners
20
is like,
some years.
It's like TJ Maxx before TJ Maxx existed.
Yeah.
But also if TJ Maxx was in Mexico City. That's Wieners. Like where you have clothing racks, but all the clothes are just on the floor. And you're just picking through stuff off the floor and hoping to find something your size.
You're not going to live this down, right?
No, it's fine.
You get nostalgic about seeing Wieners?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
I don't care. Because listen here, Q. That Little Caesars that my grandma would walk me to once a week was right next door to Wieners on Antoine. And that's why.
Wieners on Antoine, huh?
But there's one you get. Now, I'm not going to say there's a Wieners in the Woodlands, because there sure wasn't a Wieners in the Woodlands, but there was a Wieners right past it. Right when you hit Houston city limits, there's one, man.
Yeah, I think there's one. It's in Conroe, I think.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, it's somewhere around there. But yeah, I don't think it's there anymore, though, is it?
Probably not.
I don't think so. I think Wieners is done for.
So it's Wieners, Splashtown, USA, and then I was like 15 minutes from my grandma's house.
Man, I still don't talk to my grandfather. Like we have beef because for my 4th birthday, he promised that he was going to take me to. He didn't give me a birthday gift. Promised he was going to take me to Astroworld, and I was all excited and geeked up about it, and never took me to Astroworld. Now it's closed. So
did you never go to Astroworld?
I finally went one time because I had family coming from Louisiana, and I went. But I was like, I don't know, like 12 or 13.
I went to Astroworld a lot. That was the one thing we did because.
Okay, so now it's all starting to make sense. You were the privileged kid in the hood. You had a dad. You
actually,
got to go to Astroworld.
Funny story. For whatever reason, that was the yearly tradition. My parents would buy a season pass to Astroworld and Waterworld, and it came with guest passes. And then I would bring my friends, Jason and Chris. Jason was a white kid who always wore a trench coat in Houston. I'm pretty sure he shot up a school. Guys, you don't understand. This is like a 9-year-old wearing a trench coat in 100-degree weather. We would take my mom during the summer would take me, and then when we had 3 guest passes to Astroworld and 3 guest passes to Waterworld, so 6 times during the year we would take either Jason or Chris and go to either Astroworld or Waterworld. And that was the thing. I loved Astroworld. I loved the Halloween thing they would do. That was actually the first haunted house I ever went to, was at Astroworld with the real Freddy Krueger playing as Freddy Krueger.
Did they do fireworks every night?
Yeah, dude, 10 o'clock, like every night, fireworks at Astroworld. So they would get the season pass because my mom worked in the mortgage industry. I don't know why, but in the summertime, I think she kind of took summers off. I I don't really remember. I remember being at home alone a lot, which is, I was way too young, which is funny. And I remember being at my grandmother's house a lot. Both of my parents worked, but I can't remember. My mom, though, I went to Astroworld and Waterworld a lot with my mom. That was like a thing that we would do. So I loved Astroworld. We would ride the Texas Cyclone. It was still the best roller coaster I've ever ridden. And then, but I never got to ride Taz's Texas Tornado. But I was there the day it shut down because Taz's Texas Tornado would shut down if winds exceeded a certain speed. It's automatically as a safety mechanism. And it shut down on the loop, upside down. And they stayed there for 90 minutes until the fire rescue came.
Yeah, we got to rename this stream to Wieners and Trench Coats.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. I don't care, man. This makes me feel like I legitimately love Houston, Texas. I have nothing but good things. It's a garbage town. It sucks in so many ways, but it's also great. It's also great. It's what I want America to be.
It's I don't know, that whole 610, you get inside 610, that whole area, man, just kind of, I don't know, there's something about it that just kind of.
What would be wrong inside the 610 loop? Is it the tattoo parlor that says tattoos and body piercings, ladies free? Is there something wrong with that place? Q, would you like to elucidate on why women should definitely not go to the tattoos and body piercings where it's free for women to go?
Yeah, but you got to buy the jewelry though.
Yeah.
Well,
you know, Houston's a dumpster.
Activities going on. What?
Houston's a dumpster, but it's safer than Beaumont.
Yeah,
or Port Arthur.
Arvida. Yeah, no, it's I don't know. It's a dirty town, but I know it well, and it holds a lot of fond memories. So I think that Houston in my mind is much greater than Houston, the place. You know what I'm saying? So as a kid, like, I have fond memories of it. So, but I could never go back and live there today, and I certainly would want to raise my kids.
I love it to a probably unsafe level where I'm like, what do you mean we can't walk around at night at 2 a.m? What are you talking about? It's fine.
I mean, you can in the woodlands.
Yeah, but we're not in the woodlands. But the best part is the woodlands is only one neighborhood away from the hood. Right. All right, we gotta start talking about this. Whatchamacallit? We gotta start talking about the impeachment.
Impeach 45. Impeach. Yeah.
Impeach.
Impeach 45. It's absolutely insane. Like, you would have no. I don't know if I just associate with more tards than some people do. But yeah, it's amazing to me how many people. Happy Impeachment Day. He's gone. I can't believe he hasn't gone anywhere.
I should get peach saliva on for an impeachment stream. Do you guys like peach saliva? Do any of you guys know peach saliva? Q, do you know peach saliva?
I do not know peach saliva. No.
Man.
I wish
great.
I can make that work for you.
I know peach saliva. I can make it work for you.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, we got a show coming on tomorrow, so you can come on the show tomorrow. That'd be fantastic. We're gonna do a.
Did you say he?
Get peach saliva. I mean, is it?
Do you know a he
saliva?
named Peach? I mean, if you know a he named Peach, I mean, I hope that's after 11 months at county. Damn.
You
Because he
know,
went in there, he was Jared. He came out, he was Peach. Good Lord.
Hey, nowadays I don't assume much anymore. So,
No,
yeah.
Peach is she's a streamer, a video game streamer, but she is not. She doesn't wear the low cut tops. She doesn't wear the revealing clothes. Like she's a female streamer, but she's built her audience by being legitimately entertaining.
So she's not like it's ma'am.
She's not an e-thought.
Okay. All right.
She's
That's
good.
cool.
And she probably could be. She's beautiful, but she's not. So
Okay.
she's also super nice.
Well, hey, they'll make it work. And we can do an impeachment stream. It'll be fantastic. So, we are doing one. So, I mean, I mean, as long as she can put up with Tim, he'll be on tomorrow too. So,
oh my god. Oh yeah. So you're doing an impeachment stream with Minnesota Representative Tim Miller.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. On Out of the Darkness.
Yeah,
so
guys,
if you're not.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. You plug your show, and then I'll plug your show.
Yeah, if you're not subscribed to Out of the Darkness, man, definitely subscribe to it. We have some pretty interesting conversations. Not nearly as fun as what Nick and I have, just because we just take walks down memory lane. Now I'm hungrier than hell. So
yeah, me too.
But yeah, if you are not currently subscribe to our channel, Out of the Darkness, definitely subscribe. We have some great shows, have some great conversation, talk about things that we're not supposed to talk about, but we do anyway. So we push the envelope a little bit, but we always do it in a respectful way. So yeah, definitely check us out and subscribe to the show.
Yeah, and if you are not familiar, Out of the Darkness is linked in the description. You live stream every Sunday for now.
Yeah.
And sometimes more often than that. And you can find good conversation focused on all kinds of different things. Great guests. Sometimes I'm a guest on there, which is the greatest guest. Oh my goodness. I'm like hiccuping Knob Creek. One of the friends who was eating dinner with us bought me this Knob Creek small batch bourbon. This is good stuff.
Hey man, so one of these days I need you to help me. I never really asked you to help me get somebody on the stream. Get Nick Fuentes on. Tell him to get his ass on the show.
Nick Fuentes doesn't like me though.
Well, he needs to come on my show. We got to talk. I watched a couple of streams or a couple of shows that he did.
Sorry.
I got some, as the old folks say, I got some questions. I got some questions for that boy.
Nick Fuentes is not a big fan of me. I think it's because I'm better at making white babies than he is.
Everybody's got a talent.
Look, I've got a proven track record of making stark white babies. You've seen them. They are pale as hell.
Yeah, they are super race babies.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
via fixing everything. I don't know what I've never interacted. I interacted with him briefly on the heel stream, but not much because I don't know him. I don't really care. Y'all
tell Nick Fuentes I said bring that ass over here, boy.
And when you leave, we'll call you Peach.
Yeah, we definitely need to. I got some questions. So, but yeah, no. This impeachment thing, though, man, it's getting about ridiculous. So essentially, everyone's trying to make a tie, and I'm getting real sick of it. They're trying to tie what Trump did to what Andrew Jackson did, or even what
Andrew Jackson or Andrew Johnson?
Andrew Johnson, sorry, Andrew Johnson. Okay. And then also tying what Clinton did, right? They're not the same. They're absolutely not the same. Y'all got one more time to call me Drexel. Drexel is not nearly as handsome as I am. But it's silly to me that that they're trying to tie those things together, but Clinton actually committed real crimes, like actual crimes he committed. They had to make up some shit for Trump, right? Abuse of power. You show me a politician that hasn't at some point abused their power. Well,
actually, this is the dark secret. I figured this out. Power is just the gimp that's chained up in the Oval Office. That's how they got around that. It's just cleverly worded. They just feel bad for that guy.
But it's crazy to me that they're trying to do that. Then they say, well, he abused his power, and tried to use the power of the office to investigate his political opponents. Well, what do we have, like 12 senators right now and Congress people that are currently running for office as Democrats?
I don't know how many it is, but it's enough.
It's a shit ton of them, right? So you've got all these people running for office, and they're investigating Trump. Well, what the hell's the difference then?
I need to address something real quick, if you can, because this is actually something I know a little bit about. Okay. Someone said, "What did Clinton do aside from get his dick sucked in the Oval Office?" So many people think that Clinton was impeached merely for lying under oath. That was the big story. The allegations against Bill Clinton, there's something like 12 articles of impeachment against Bill Clinton. There's 2 against Trump: abuse of power and obstruction of Congress, which are both nebulous and kind of made up, which is fine. I have to point this out. I've said it many times, impeachment is a purely political mechanism. There is no Alan Dershowitz needs to get peached out of existence or whatever it is for trying to convince people that you need to have some sort of criminal act. You don't. I mean, that was the idea. The
standard was supposed to be high crimes and misdemeanors.
Right, but they never defined what high crimes and misdemeanors were, and by leaving it up to a vote, the idea was basically to give Congress a mechanism to remove the president in the event that they thought it was worthy enough to go ahead and remove him. They didn't want to limit it to a specific set of crimes, because what if the president did something that they couldn't think of, right? So what if the president is just being a tyrant? And you need to remove him, even though he's following the letter of the law. And so they're willing to expend the political capital to do this. That's what they've set up. Dershowitz is out there saying, oh, it needs to be a crime. It doesn't need to be a crime. Ideally, we want a president with a criminal act that we can say, look, we've decided that for every person on earth, this is a criminal act. You're not above the law. But there may be something out there where we say, this isn't even addressed by the law, but we need you gone because of it. Okay? I'm not saying that makes the impeachment more or less appropriate, but impeachment is political. It's not legal. So that out of the way, Bill Clinton's articles of impeachment include paying witnesses to lie under oath, threatening witnesses to lie under oath in civil and criminal matters. It was not just I did not have sex with that woman. Not a single time. I did not have sexual relations. Right? Like, it's not that. That's not the only thing he was impeached for. He was not impeached for getting his dick sucked in the Oval Office, although that triggered a lot of this stuff. The articles of impeachment actually drafted and filed against Bill Clinton include several charges that we would consider absolutely terrible. Now, he was cleared on all of those charges. That's to be perfectly clear on that. but they attempted to bring those things against him. It was Islam. You should go read about it. It's really interesting because you go, oh my God, he definitely did that. That's what you say when you read about these civil cases that he interfered in. You're like, holy Christ, they were right about it, but they just didn't remove him from office because of it. But it's really, it's much more than he lied under oath one time. That is not it.
Well, they did a fantastic job of trying to make it about the fellatio.
Yeah, some nobody says people don't know that because the GOP blows at messaging. Yeah, the GOP blows harder than Lewinsky does at messaging.
Oh man,
because I know she isn't sucking because there are stains on the dress.
Wow. Yeah.
Why does she have a stained dress? Sorry, go ahead.
Well, just because
that's
you do
the
a job.
President of the United States, and you can't suppress the gag reflex for a second and take one for the team.
Just because you do a job doesn't mean you're good at it.
That's why she was an intern. Look, if that chick were hired in the Oval Office, she would have done the job right.
I'm gonna leave that one alone because you and I both know just because a cat has kittens in the oven don't make them biscuits. So
yeah. Well, I know what kittens aren't getting made in an oven. They're sitting on the dress. There's about 10 million of them.
Oh man. But it just seems extremely interesting to me that anytime it seems as though a Democrat will, and let me just say that at once upon a time there were some good Democrats, and I think there are still some good Democrats out there deep down.
What about Colin Peterson? You like that guy?
No.
Voted no on impeachment, pro-gun, pro-life?
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Colin Peterson.
Me either, because he's a fucking snake, but
right. So, but he sells a mean story though. But it's interesting how anytime they accuse someone of something, man, it's almost like it's a confession, right? I mean, because they accuse people of doing the exact things they project on other people what they're actually doing, and it's sickening to me. But he will get reelected. There's not a doubt in my mind. And I think this is just going to push people further and further in that direction. So, you can only accuse people. We talked about this yesterday, Nick. You can only accuse people of being something for so long before they finally just say, all right, to hell with it. I'm just going to be it. I'm going to be the baddest it that I can possibly be. And you can fill in the blank of whatever that is. But people are tired of getting pushed around. And I think, this is going to end up biting them in the ass. I mean, because I know with the Republicans, because they did not brand it and sell it to the American people well, it bit them in the ass. It really did. I mean, they lost. I mean, it was a massacre the next midterm election.
I think isn't it called something like the something massacre? They have a name for how bad the Republicans got BTFO'd. Was it 94 or something like that?
I believe it was 1994, if I'm not mistaken.
They got absolutely reamed out. They got reamed out so hard we need to ban it.
Yeah. They got Tanya Harding. Ooh, that might be going back a little too far.
I did not see it. I still to this day have not seen it, but I remember the Tanya Harding Playboy spread. Remember hearing about it. And I would fully admit to seeing it if I had, but no, I remember the announcement of it because it's like, oh, that's how you're going to go ahead and try and override this controversy. Sounds good.
Become relevant again.
98. That's
98. Cool. Sorry, I guess I'm going back even further. Yeah, he got elected in 94, right? The first
92.
time, right? 92.
Yeah, he was 92 to 2000.
All right.
Then George H.W. Bush, the millennial president, 2000 election. Conquest mission accomplished before he even took office.
Yeah, that was the death of the Republican Party. He was single-handedly the death of the Republican Party.
I like W. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, I'm with the Dixie Chicks on that one.
You know, I'm not saying he's a good president. I just like him. He seems likable. That's the
thing.
George
Bush?
Do you tell me you couldn't hang out with Bush?
No,
you lived in the Woodlands. You probably were neighbors.
No, we just had box seats next to each other at the Astrodome.
Oh, God. Son of a bitch.
Go ahead.
I hate you. You know how mad my dad is about everything? I found out everything that my dad is mad about on earth. My dad's not a mad guy, generally speaking. He's a pretty happy guy. He's funny. I like him. But I found out where the source of all of his rage on earth is. My dad is a massive Houston Astros fan, right? He gave up twice for like weddings and other unimportant garbage. He gave up a Nolan Ryan no-hitter that he had a ticket to. He had a ticket to a Nolan Ryan no-hitter, and he had a ticket to a Mike Scott no-hitter. And both of those he gave up.
He missed them both?
Yeah.
The Astros only have like a handful of no-hitters. We had 2 this year.
Look, I think Nolan Ryan had 6 as an Astro.
Well,
and Mike Scott had 2 as an Astro. But that's pretty much it. Like,
well, yeah. And then what? Verlander had one this year. Then they had like a team-wide everybody, all
that's
hands on deck.
That's a communist no-hitter.
Right, a commie no-hitter this year. But yeah, like I gotta go to a game with your dad one day. I think I might get along with him. I'm still geeked out the fact that you had a dad. That's so cool.
I hate baseball. Like I can't. I love going to baseball games. It's actually I like going to any live event. I think they're all fun, and I can make them all fun. I hate watching baseball on TV. But I can sit with my dad and watch baseball on TV. Something I don't
watch baseball, but I do watch Astros.
I can watch golf on TV with my dad nowadays. I don't like watching sports on TV except the World Cup. That's the only thing that I will independently watch on TV because I own a Nintendo Switch, so call me Peach. But I will watch World Cup. I won't watch the rest of soccer. I don't care. Just World Cup. But I will, if I'm with my dad, I'll watch baseball. I'll watch football. I'll watch golf. It doesn't matter to me because I'll sit there and I'll just appreciate what these people are able to do athletically. That's just cool. But I love going to the live ball games. No matter, I don't care what the sport is, right? Although the best sport to go see live, what do you think the best sport to go see live is?
Hockey.
Wrong.
Hockey.
Nope.
Hockey.
You're wrong. It's okay that you're wrong. It's not your fault. You're indoctrinated to the hockey because of the Minnesota in you.
No.
But hockey went on strike a couple years ago. Do you remember that?
Nope.
You don't remember when hockey went on strike? The NHL just didn't exist for a year.
I couldn't even give a rip about hockey. I mean, I just think it's a fun game to go watch.
Lacrosse replaced hockey, and no one cared. Here's how bad the NHL strike was. Lacrosse just filled the gap, and nobody cared. Lacrosse.
I do remember a couple years ago seeing a lot of lacrosse plays on the ESPN top 10 plays of the day. So
listen, I've been to football games, baseball games, basketball games, hockey games, lacrosse games. I've been to roller derby. I've been to wrestling. I've been to MMA. Lacrosse is the funniest, most fun live sporting event I've ever been to. I've been to horse races.
In the words of Dwight Schrute, false.
No, man. Lacrosse is hockey if you take away the handicap of skates on the fights.
I used to call hockey ice football.
And look, I know you guys are doubters in the chat. That's fine. I understand that you've never been to a professional lacrosse game.
Is there such thing as professional lacrosse?
This is what I'm getting to. It's so unrespected. It's so unrespected. You know, in basketball, they start playing music for like 8 seconds at a time. It's like, oh yeah, we got a good song coming up, and then the play starts and they stop it immediately because like, oh, you really need to hear the squeaks of the sneakers. Lacrosse doesn't give a shit about being lacrosse. They don't care at all. Music plays the whole time. Because the music is more interesting than what the hell they're doing on the field. No, trust me. The announcers make fun of the refs. There's no reverence for lacrosse. Everything, like, there's jokes left and right. The first lacrosse game I went to had 3 fights in it. 3. I got lacrosse and MMA.
What is the professional lacrosse league? I mean, what is the league? Like,
who cares? The professional lacrosse player works at a factory during
BS
the day.
On it, Nick. I'm calling BS on it. Like, we can agree on a lot of things, but yeah, no.
I'm going to take you to a Minnesota Swarm game sometime.
To a what?
Minnesota Swarm. We have a lacrosse team.
I'd be honest, I'd rather go watch curling.
No, you trust me, you wouldn't. You have to put your faith in me, Q. It's like hockey, except they can just run and kick someone's ass, and they can use their feet when they do it.
I'm sorry, man. A bunch of dudes running around with like brooms.
They're not wearing brooms. They're nets that are also death traps that they beat each other with the entire time. It's great.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I'll me and my wife will come over and babysit you, and Lady Rackets can go and watch some damn lacrosse.
I'm gonna take you to a lacrosse game, and you are gonna leave
under protest.
That's fine. White people have done stuff worse under protest. I'm gonna take you to a lacrosse game, and you will leave a changed man. Because it is the funniest thing you've ever seen.
Is that like your version of conversion therapy?
Yeah. Look, I have a backup plan. I bought out all of the 90s wet cell batteries, and they're all in the back of my Ford Escort that I keep in the back.
You're like Uncle Ruckus.
Look, no, I am dead serious. I've been to numerous Minnesota Wild games. I worked at Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo is the bank of the Minnesota Wilds. I don't know if they still are, but they were. The Wild players would bank at our branch at Wells Fargo, okay? And so did the owner. And so the owner came in and would give us tickets. He's like, here's 12 tickets to the next game. So we'd go as a group to the Wild game. That was tons of fun. I like hockey games. They're funny. But imagine if you went to a hockey game, you weren't cold, and they could actually catch the other person and beat the ever-loving shit out of them without sliding around like a retard on the ice. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. And, high sticking in hockey is a penalty. In lacrosse, it's the way you get into the sport. You raise your stick as high as you can, and you samurai chop it down on every asshole who tries to score. It's great. And it's like in hockey, your score, it's like, oh, cool. It was 2-4 was the score. No, in lacrosse, it's like 13-10. It's amazing.
Yeah, like I said, I'm calling bullshit on it. But you know what? Hey, is what it is. Do they serve alcohol at the games?
Dude, the players on the bench serve the alcohol. This is how I know that you grew up in rich Houston when I grew up in poor Houston. These jackasses need second jobs from a professional sport. They're the best lacrosse players in the world, and they have to go to work at Payless the next day.
Yeah, because the best lacrosse players in the world. That just goes to show that they can't do any damn thing else.
Lacrosse is the whitest.
If you're that athletic, you could go and do something else.
Lacrosse.
Look at the schools that play lacrosse.
Yeah, it's almost as white as rowing. It's so funny. Like, what? It's the second most pretentious sport in America. And, like, why do you play this sport? There's no future for you. Go play anything else.
Yeah.
That's why I love it. They're all blue-collar guys in the end.
Yeah. What?
The lacrosse players? Yeah, they're all
blue-collar guys.
Yeah, they can't. The lacrosse?
You played college lacrosse. You went to an Ivy League school.
Yeah, but you ended up in a fucking factory. I'm not joking. It's the America of sports. It's great.
Yeah,
I went to a double header. It was lacrosse followed by roller derby.
I tell you what, let's put it this way. I think I would rather go.
You ever
to
heard of the Duke lacrosse
team?
You think the Duke lacrosse team is a CEO of a Fortune 500 company?
Well, I know the Duke basketball team isn't, so there's got to be some CEOs coming out.
You remember the Duke lacrosse story, right?
Oh yeah, I know the story, but it was also. I'm going to leave that alone, but yeah. Yeah, those poor kids got ran through the mud.
Look, I'm telling you, if you don't have to trust me, but get drunk and go to a lacrosse game. And I went sober.
Yeah, it's that's probably your first mistake. So if you had gone and drank first,
it would have been a better sport.
Huh?
It would have been even better.
Yeah.
The only better sport than lacrosse would be golf cart jousting.
Yeah, so you just lost your card.
I don't even care. You know, there's no black people in hockey, but black people can play lacrosse. They can play the shit out of lacrosse.
Do they?
It's running and beating people. It's like football, but funnier. Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I didn't do a demographic survey of lacrosse.
Oh wow!
Let's see. Let's do lacrosse demographics. I'm gonna look it up. Lacrosse.
It's like 99.8%.
In men's lacrosse, 85% of athletes were white in 2014 to 2015, down from 90% in 2000.
Oh wow! Yeah, it's being massively integrated.
Look, the percentage of black men's lacrosse players is up 2% from 2000 to 2014, 2015, from 1.5% to 3.5%. They got another one. Well, to be fair, they got 1.5, right? Like they got one fully black guy and one guy who's black and Mexican.
Well, I mean, down for black hockey, PK Subban, he's black as the ace of spades, man. So
yeah, but in hockey, let's do the hockey demographics. I'm now curious. I just typed this into Google and they have this. Hockey demographics, race and ethnicity in the NHL. The share of Canadians in the league dropped to 75% by the 80s. 93% white in the NHL. 93% white. With the remaining 7% as varying ethnicities.
It's varying ethnicities. So, yeah, they're not white. They're Russian.
Yeah. Val James is the first African-American to play in the NHL. In 1982. what was it? Jackie Robinson did not help the NHL at all.
No. He absolutely did not. But
he even played for a Canadian team. Oh god.
Well, yeah, that's where all the black people were then. Like they were.
And he retired in '87. So only 5 years to play.
You gotta imagine, dude. He probably took some butt whoopings. Like you could beat black people legally on the hockey in the hockey rink. So
no, you could beat black person legally on the hockey rink. There's no black people in hockey. There's black guy.
Well, we have a local amateur hockey team in the town we live in, and there's like 4 or 5 black players on the team.
Oh, the Somalis have taken up hockey? Were those the ones who can't play soccer?
Yeah, no, there's no Somalis. So
you will never convince me that those are just normal black people playing hockey.
Okay, so now normal black people can't play hockey. I see how it is.
No, I said the normal black people are playing the hockey.
Okay.
Standard Error says that was actually Trudeau in blackface playing hockey.
Oh man, yeah. Trudeau and Northup walking to a black bar. So wow, that's insane. But I tell you what, buddy, I definitely wanted to stay up and I've been. The warden has come in twice. It's time for me to.
This is supposed to be a short show, and you drug it out by talking about Houston. Rude.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, but
real quick, let's finish the topic real quick.
Yeah.
Have you seen the stuff now that says Trump is or isn't impeached because Nancy Pelosi is using the impeachment as a maxi pad rather than sending it to the Senate? Have you seen that?
Yeah, I've seen that. And it sounds like the excuse that they're giving is that they want to assure that the Republicans are going to give a fair trial. I don't think that I don't think the Democrats really want that, because if there's a fair trial, isn't that open to exculpatory evidence? I think
the dumb thing is the politically better move is to let the Republicans just shut it down.
I would think, because you do know that Trump is going to put everybody on the stand that he possibly can, right? I mean, he's going to make everybody speak under oath. I mean,
I don't know. So this is the interesting thing. I don't know that you can bring witnesses to a Senate impeachment hearing.
Yeah, you can.
Can you?
You can.
Says who?
Yeah. Huh?
Says who?
I mean, says the impeachment hearing that they had for President Clinton, they brought in witnesses.
Right, but you don't necessarily get to do that.
Oh, okay. Well,
that's the cool thing about impeachment. This is the thing that pisses me off about them saying.
Just kind of make it up as you go along.
Yeah, they're saying, like I saw Mark Levin's like, he's not impeached until they send the articles over to the Senate. It's like, well, I mean, I guess. But there's no actual requirement to immediately send the articles to the Senate. There's no requirement for them ever to send the articles to the Senate. And similarly, there's no requirement in the Constitution to receive the articles before they hear the impeachment. There's nothing exists in impeachment. It's all just made up. It's a fairy tale. It's a fantasy. And I love that.
Fugazi, it's a woozy, it's a wazi, it's a...
They have no idea. Like, so this is the thing I would caution all the viewers against. Anybody who says impeachment is X is wrong, unless they're specifically citing the article in the Constitution that says simply president and vice president can only be removed by impeachment in the House, and then conviction of impeachment in the Senate for high crimes and misdemeanors, bribery and treason. Okay? And then it's articles of impeachment are drafted by the House, and then the impeachment is heard by the Senate, and can only be approved by a 2/3 majority. That's it. That's like the entire there's 6 mentions of impeachment in the Constitution. Outside of that, literally making it up as you go. No rules. You cannot say that there's a definitive set of impeachment rules because all of those are open for debate and it's entirely political. There isn't a process, and there's similarly no appeal. So if Mitch McConnell, hold on, I don't know if my chin can go all the way back into my throat to be Mitch McConnell, but if he says, we're not going to have any witnesses in the Senate for the hearing, like, that's fine. Like, what's the House going to do? Appeal it to who? Who do you appeal it to? The Senate? The Senate has plenary authority to conduct the hearing, however they choose. If they only want to hear Trump's witnesses, they could do that. Here's all the witnesses we're bringing. It's Eric Trump, Donald Trump Jr., Barron, and Melania. There's the witnesses. That's the witness list we're doing. That's who's going to stop them. Because the House has no authority to determine what the Senate hearing looks like. So it's beautiful. They can do whatever they want.
I think we're losing sight of the fact that we have co-equal branches of government. This whole idea of
I don't trust Ivanka Trump. I didn't ignore her or forget her. I just don't trust her. All right, go ahead. What were you saying? Co-equal branches of government.
Co-equal branches of government. And so what do they say? Contempt of Congress?
Obstruction of Congress.
Obstruction of Congress.
If I were Trump, I would demand adding contempt of Congress. Listen, I hate you all. Would you go ahead and put contempt of Congress down?
I mean, so the like you mentioned it was actually a good point. That's his job, right? And that's his job as president. They are co-equal. They're co-equal beings, right? Yeah. So this idea that
actually, I argue the president is not equal with the Congress, and I base this on a constitutional principle. So Congress. The first line of Article 1, Section 1 of the Constitution. Now, Article 1 is the first article, right? So we think, okay, they mean the Congress to be more important than any other branch. But here's the first line. I'm going to say it basically from memory. It says, the legislative power as defined by this section shall be vested in a House of Representatives and the Senate. Right? Mm-hmm. The first line of Article 2, Section 1 of the Constitution says, the executive power shall be vested in a president. So Article 1, Section 1 says, the legislative power as we define it in this section shall be given to these people. But the executive power shall be granted to a president. Which is crazy to think of because in 1776 or 1791, when they're drafting this thing and getting it signed by everybody, the executive power literally means the king, right?
Right.
So they're saying, we're going to define what a legislature is, and then we're going to rely on what everybody knows a king is. So the king's power is given to the president, but it's limited by all of these things we give to the executive, by the things we give to the judiciary, and to this recurring 4-year term. So the interesting thing is, we just elect a new king every 4 years, and right. He's limited only technically by Congress. I think the executive branch has way more power than we've ever given them, and only because the executive hasn't taken it. And that's the terrifying thing. I'd be scared of what an executive could actually do if they really went after it.
Well, I mean, we saw Obama take it further than, I would argue, than most presidents, well, any other president before him had gone, especially with the pen, with executive orders. he went all in on that. So my fear was that he was going to set a dangerous precedent, and people were going to bypass Congress with the executive orders. And Trump has done some of it, but not nearly to the extent that Obama took the executive orders. So, but yeah, you're correct. It would be very interesting to see exactly how far an executive would go if unchecked. But of course, we've just come to the place where we're okay with our guy abusing his power, but when the other guy does it, we scream bloody murder. So it'll be interesting to see how this all unfolds. I mean, it's a political nightmare to watch it unfold. Absolute political nightmare.
Yeah. Some nobody says, I don't know. I think that it was mostly by accident. The founders intended a weak president. They just never thought the other branches would be this ineffectual. I don't think the founders intended a weak president at all. I don't know where that comes from. The founders gave all executive power to the president and the control of the entire army to the president. And the sole power of foreign relations goes to the president. They're the ones with the ability to make treaties and negotiate with other heads of state who would be kings. We created a king. Make no mistake, we've weakened the king by action, not by law, for the past 200 years. Excuse me. But there's actually lots of commentary about us basically having a king that we just elect each year or every 4 years. And that's the big limiting factor, is that we could unelect him. And remember, originally it was a 4-year term, but they could have taken as many terms as they wanted. Now, no one did until FDR. And once FDR did it, we were like, nope, shut that down. But George Washington resigning after, or not running again after 2 years, was a surprise. That was a shock to people. Because George Washington was supposed to be president until he died. That's just what everybody expected. I don't think we intended a weak president at all. I think we had presidents who have acted very cautiously because they were ruled by tyrannical kings. But we gave them enough power to act in all sorts of great ways. I don't know if it's good or bad. I'm not making a value judgment on what the president is able to do. I'm just saying that what we assume the president is able to do might not be actually accurate. And that goes back for a lot of presidents. And a lot of presidents have been called they exceeded their power, they exceeded their authority. Even Obama. You can go find posts of me. Well, you probably can't because I think they're all private now, but you could find me defending various decisions of Obama as probably, even though unwise, within his power to do so, because I'm pretty sure the executive authority that he was exercising in some of these instances was not tempered by the legislature. And that's a scary thing. It maybe should be, it just wasn't. So, because we didn't have a president before. And I agree with you. I think Obama took the power of the presidency very, very far beyond what we thought it could be. But that's an object lesson that we either need to accept and maybe Trump is going to embrace, or we need to decide, do we really want these things, or should we start limiting the power of the president? I mean, that's a real question to have. So
once again, it's easy for us to make that argument to limit the authority of the president until our guy gets in there. Then we want him to be able to have full autonomy to operate as he sees fit or needs to. The other side of that is that if you were going to limit the power of the president, wouldn't you have to take away his veto power?
I mean, that'd be one way to limit the power of the president. I mean, the check on the presidential veto is the override vote, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean, but there's too much. There's too many politics involved with that.
Normally,
because that requires what
2/3 majority,
so 66%
House and Senate.
So yeah, so
but
you can't
I gotta address two things. One person said it wasn't that way at all. Washington took the power of foreign relations or whatever, and no one knew how it would work. No, they did. They knew how it would work because the executive had the power over foreign relations all over the place. When they said the executive power, there isn't a governing body that existed in 1791 that these guys are referring to, that where the executive does not have the power of foreign relations. That's how it worked, because that's what the executive power is. It doesn't say an executive power. It doesn't say this executive power. It doesn't say executive power as we define it. It's the executive power. And up until then, that was the king. And to say that they didn't know that is I'm gonna bracket citation needed about that. But the one other thing I want to address is some people are talking about this. If they impeach him but don't convict, his first term is nullified and he can get a third term. I don't know where anybody is getting that. That is not
fake news.
That is not in the Constitution. In anywhere that I've seen. I would love to see a citation on that other than it's in the Constitution, because I'm pretty sure it's not. There's very little exception to the 2-term presidency. I mean, I guess I could check the amendment. What amendment was that? Term limit amendment. Let's read it real quick. 22nd Amendment to the U.S. Constitution is... where's the frickin' text? No person shall be elected to the office of president more than twice, and no person who has held the office of president or acted as president for more than 2 years of a term to which some other person was elected shall be elected to the office of president more than once. This article shall not apply to any person holding the office of president when the article was proposed by Congress, and shall not prevent any person who may be holding the office of president or acting as president during the term which the article becomes operative from holding the office of president or acting as president during the remainder of such term. This article shall be inoperative unless it shall have been ratified as an amendment to the Constitution by the legislatures of 3/4 of the several states within 7 years from the date of its submission to the states by the Congress. Now, nowhere in the term limits of the presidency in the 22nd Amendment does it say, if you're impeached, though, but not convicted, it's nullified. And impeachment is mentioned 6 times in the Constitution. And to my knowledge, none of those impeachment mentions has anything to do with granting an extra term to the president. So, can the president run for more than 2 terms, seeing Congress can? Can the president run for more than 2 terms? Yeah. They just can't assume office. Now, the interesting thing is the way a president could serve more than 2 terms is if he's president for less than 2 years. So if Trump got impeached now, Mike Pence serves out the rest of his term and then gets 2 more terms of election, that would work. That'd be possible. Or if Trump got killed, that would work as well.
Now, who is that served for?
Eagle alone. The U.S. Supreme Court cannot extend President Trump's term by up to 3 years if he's acquitted in an impeachment trial by the Senate. Where are you reading that? Anybody who says, like, I'm going to need a real citation on that one.
Well, Nick, there was a study that was done. You don't remember that study? It was no. Yeah.
There's a constitutional amendment limiting the terms of the presidency. We just read it. That's it. That's the rule. Now the question is, how do you remove a president from office who doesn't leave? That's a good question, right?
It's never been done before.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, that's satire. Oh, damn it. Eagle alone. I don't understand satire. I'm an autism.
They said porn video games was bad. Oh gosh. Yeah. I'm sorry.
It's the somebody gifted me a video game on Steam. It's called Hentai Nazi.
And that sounds interesting.
The picture, I haven't looked beyond it. I'm going to, but the picture is Hitler and an anime girl. Like, I don't know. That's the two pictures. I don't know what Hentai Nazi is. So I don't think I could play it on Steam. Or on Twitch. I mean, I don't think I could play it on Twitch. I think I get banned.
Probably. Well, cool beans, man. But yeah, we'll definitely be getting into this a little bit deeper on the show tomorrow.
Yeah.
Once again, if you are not subscribed to Out of the Darkness to my channel, be sure to subscribe. We're gonna have a lot of fun tomorrow, digging a little bit deeper into this, and of course, if you decide to stop in, Nick, in the chat, or even you're always welcome on the show. You know that. So I'm sure that we'll get a really interesting take from Tim. So he was excited about coming on today, but today's his birthday, and so we'll have him on tomorrow.
Sounds good, man. That'll be a good show. It'll be a good show. Everybody, the link to Q's channel is in the description. Go subscribe to it. Go check it out. You get great discussion, interesting stuff, interesting guests. Sometimes I'm on there, but even the guests that are not me are interesting. And go check it out. You can check it out tomorrow if you want to hear more about impeachment. I don't think I'm doing a show tomorrow because I am getting ready to leave on a trip. So I might be releasing a video, but I don't think I'm doing an actual show tomorrow. So, all right, man. All right. I take it you got to get out of here.
Yeah, I gotta get out of here, man. So I gotta get in bed. I've got a long day lined up for tomorrow. So, but yeah, we'll be doing the show tomorrow, 9 o'clock.
In the words of the prophet, peace be upon you.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, fun walking down memory lane with you. So
yeah.
That was a lot of fun. So we went everywhere from talking about the Vatican to talking about Houston to
I'm gonna drag you to Houston. We're gonna go to Auntie Chang's dumpling house and see who can eat more dumplings.
I'm down. And then yeah, we'll do that for lunch. For breakfast, I bet I can out kolache you.
I bet you cannot.
I bet you I can.
I have met Earl Campbell, sir. Have you ever had an Earl Campbell kolache?
I have not had an Earl Campbell kolache.
In Tyler at Donut Palace, they have kolaches with Earl Campbell hot links.
Oh
my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. All right. I'm down. I'm 100% down. So, all right, my man. Well, hey, thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it. Appreciate you letting me come on, and we will look forward to seeing as many of you guys as are willing to see us tomorrow, and we'll be digging into it a little bit more with this whole impeachment deal. So join us for the impeachment stream. So, all right, Nick. Have a good night, man. And I'm going to go try to find something to eat before I go to bed. You got me hungry.
Me too. All right, man.
All right.
Peace.
Have a good night. Peace.
All right, guys. Q is leaving us. Is leaving me. So we're going to finish up the stream here. We're going to do super chats and all that stuff. Make sure you go tune into Q's show tomorrow night. Great dude. Great show. Looking to build his channel. So go help him out with that. We are going to got Streamlabs from Lemois says, I'm wrapping gifts while listening to my favorite YouTubers making fun of Star Wars, whiskey, and the legal system. Have a blessed Christmas. And stay safe. MBP and Rackets. Greetings from Norway. Hey, back at you, buddy. You have a good Christmas, too. Hopefully, whoever's getting those presents appreciates the wrapping job you are doing. Let's see. What is next? We're going to go ahead and wrap up the super chats here. And then after that, I'm going to... I don't know. Do you guys want me to do a Twitch stream? I should probably do a Twitch stream. I was going to try out... I got a new game. What's it called? It's an action RPG. Roguelike. I guess I should probably do some Twitch for a little bit. We'll see. All right. You can come join me on Twitch after the show. But let's hit these super chats and get done and get good. I can't do the Hentai Nazi game on Twitch. I don't think. It's probably one of the banned games. Tillip, I'm not going to play Metro. People who play Metro make me disgusted. F says, good evening, Nick. How goes? Hey, good, buddy. Hopefully you're still around for that. Some nobody says, does positive stimuli work, though? Any literature? I don't know. I mean, operant and classical conditioning, positive conditioning is a thing that's been around. I don't know if it works. Any literature? I'm not one to cite for literature. I'm not a psychology. Says, what about actual nudity? Nip slip equals jail. I don't know. That's the thing. That's the whole ban porn question, right? When is it porn and when is it not porn? And then when is porn speech and when is porn not speech? You guys are saying that porn isn't speech, but it kind of is. It is. There's speeching involved. Sometimes it's just like, oh, or I'm gonna blast your socks off, or whatever it is, but there's speech in there. There is no sun here, Eagle Lone. Next. Ron Type says, I see that you may be discussing more. Would it be all right to know what Magnitsky Act is? How true that it will sanction human rights violators, that it will bar non-Americans that they deem so. I have no idea what the Magnitsky Act is. Sorry, I cannot tell you anything about it. Alistair's Knight says, damn character limit. I meant Kentucky lubricant. Kentucky lubricant. So there you go. Some nobody says, gonna get Q kicked out of his church. Lol. Look, everybody's getting kicked out of church on this stream. Digital Void says, check email after show plox. All right, I will do that. I'm not sure what I'm looking for, but I will. Gigantor068 says, be careful what you wish for. Those Nico girls could be just cats with the head of a human. Oh, F. That'd be terrible. Well, we could send the furries to subjugate them then. Shining Nebula says, does this mean you'd be carpet bombing with the plague? Yep. Some nobody says 50 ounces to overcome pistol AR config. Gilgamesh says, have y'all been to Beef and Bun? Q answered that. I've never even heard of it, but I want to go now. Chem Trail Mix says, rackets, you have to tell more ghetto stories of your youth. This is fascinating and hilarious at the same time. Ghetto stories are great. I mean, I guess. Bad Dragonite says, can we call black SJWs regrows? Oh, no, you can't. Yes, you can. Bad Dragonite says, rackets, your childhood sounds like 98% of Mississippi. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's funny because in Houston, I lived in the hood. In Mississippi, I lived in the nice part of town. Gilgamesh says, have y'all been to Annie's Hamburgers? I've seen an Annie's Hamburgers. I have not eaten there. True Player 49 says, what about the guy from Appliance Direct? I love refrigerators. That guy didn't make as much money as Mattress Mac did. Adam Davidson says, Pedialyte is a godsend. Hope Nick drinks some every night he streams, and I hope everyone has a good night. I would never touch Pedialyte, but I hope everybody does have a good night. Some nobody says, I just want a bronze-skinned girlfriend, so much to ask. And then he follows up with, people don't know that because the GOP blows at messaging. I read that one earlier. Cesario JPN says, it's amazing that the United States now has 2 presidents impeached for embarrassing Hillary Clinton. How embarrassing. That's great. Andrew War Snowboard says, Nolan Ryan threw 7 no-nos, 1 for Houston, 2 for Texas, and 4 for California, or Cal. Oh, okay. So he had the one. My dad had the ticket for his no-hitter in Houston. Sorry, I just knew he had like 6 or 7. I didn't realize that only 1 was in Houston. Freighter J says, Chicago's professional lacrosse team was called the Chicago Machine. They literally named a professional sports team after our corrupt politics. Sub-Zero 39 says, why did Clinton get to serve his full term? First super chat. Clinton was impeached, but he was not convicted by the Senate, so he was not removed from office. The act of being impeached is, in theory, like being accused of a crime, right? You're not convicted of the crime until the jury says so. And the jury for a president is the full Senate. Karoku says, unrelated, do you think a big company, Disney, could sue a filmmaker, Rianne Johnson, for damaging their brand? Also, hope you're having a good night. They'd have a rough time doing it unless he was out doing something specifically damaging their brand that was not making the movie that they gave him the authority to make. I mean, they made the stupid choice of hiring him to make this movie. That's their fault. Louise Orton says, hey, I sent you another email. When can you get back to me, Mr. Nicky? I don't know. I don't know. Is your YouTube name the same as your email? I'll see what I can do. All right, guys. I'm going to be traveling like a proper sovereign citizen very soon. There probably will not be a stream Saturday or Sunday. Sunday would be really surprising. Saturday would be mildly surprising. Although there may be a Twitch stream Saturday. There will not be a YouTube stream Saturday, most likely. Almost guaranteed there will not be a YouTube stream on Sunday. As for the rest of the week, Monday through Friday, that remains to be seen because I will be remote. I'm going to have a streaming setup, but I don't know exactly how everything's going to work out yet. I will try and announce it on Twitter, on the YouTube community page. If you're not following the YouTube channel, subscribe and you'll get notification. Make sure that your notification thing says always get notified. YouTube changed this. You can say always notify or customize. I don't know how you customize it. Make sure you get always notified. And then when I do a community post on YouTube, you can see it. You can interact with it. Sometimes there's polls, sometimes there's pictures, sometimes there's linked to videos, all of that stuff. But usually there's an announcement of some sort. So I will try and announce on both Twitter and the YouTube community page what the streaming schedule looks like for the normal week. We've got Christmas week next week, and I don't want to. I'm trying to put together what would be an amazing Christmas present for this channel, but I can't promise I'll do it because it relies on someone else. But I think you guys will love it. Whatever the case, I will do something for Christmas. Very Christmassy for Christmas. I want to give you guys something great for Christmas. Okay? We'll see what we can do. Other than that, there's a couple... Oh, there's one more chat to read. I'm going to read it. I'm going to bid you good night. AGK says, are you able to pronounce Rekieta in Polish? Slav here, Kurwamak, relaxing and drinking the hipster water known as Pabst Blue Ribbon. Cheers. No. I don't know how they pronounce it in Polish. Someone sent it to me, and I didn't understand. So no, I'm not able to pronounce it in Polish. One of my few regrets in life. My grandfather spoke Polish, and he died, gosh, like 8 years ago. He offered to teach me Polish a long time ago, and I was too stupid to take him up on it because I was just a damn kid. So I wish I did, but I can't. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. I will see you over on Twitch in a little bit. I got to get some food in my stomach, but I'll see you very soon. Thanks for hanging out tonight. Peace. Peace. Peace.